I jolted awake, unsure if any of this was real, so I grabbed a mechanical pencil and jammed it into my own leg. Yep, the pain was real. Then a scream. My head snaps over. It was him, bullying some poor kid in front of everyone. The blonde punk knocked him down, forcing the kid to smell his nasty foot. I froze solid watching it happen, but trust me, it's not what you're thinking. It wasn't fear, because this is the day I died. I've returned to that very moment. And I won't let it happen again. If villains rule through fear, I have to become more feared. I'm going to destroy them all, every last one, but first, let me show you why. All I ever wanted was to graduate. Instead, I found myself falling from the school rooftop. I couldn't believe they actually had the guts. Those bastards were the ones to blame. They tormented me for so long, and in the end, they threw me right off the edge. I just didn't get it. I never did anything to them, and now I'm going to die. But then, a miracle, I regained consciousness, but what I woke up to, it was worse than death. I could hear people talking, saying I was in a vegetative coma. I could hear them all. But I couldn't move, couldn't open my eyes. My grandma visited me every single day to pray. I could feel the warmth of her hand. Everyone else abandoned me, but she never stopped. She kept visiting, refusing to let them pull the plug, screaming for me to wake up. My brother visited sometimes. He told me those same school bullies were targeting him now. I stayed trapped in that coma for 10 years, thinking about one thing every single day. How I would get my revenge if I ever got the chance. I did nothing, and they put me there. Even the teachers were guilty, after 10 years of nothing but rage-filled thoughts. My brain just couldn't take it anymore. It overloaded. I exploded. And I died for a second time, and that's when I woke up back in that classroom. Total déjà vu, so when I saw that bastard in front of me again, I stood up and walked over. I looked him in the eye and said one word, "Stop." Park Mitchell thought it was a joke. The class loser, the wimp, actually had the guts to talk to him, so Mitchell smirked. He asked if I thought the entire class working together could actually stop him. I didn't wait for another joke. Before, I did nothing. Now, watch this. I hit him with full force. Mitchell was completely stunned. He never imagined that I, the loser Kim Hunsung, was capable. Capable of even looking him in the eyes. The whole class was in shock. Mitchell just stood there. His face snapped to the side when he turned back to threaten me like the bully he is. I grabbed him by the hair and smashed his face into the desk. Pure domination. Mitchell was caught so off guard that he couldn't predict my moves, even being a good fighter. And I gave him zero time to react. I just hit him as fast and as hard as I possibly could. Non-stop, all 10 years of being trapped in that bed were fueling my memories. All the suffering I went through, all my grandma's pain, Mitchell couldn't react. I hit him again and again. I even made him smell my shoe. Payback's a bitch, huh? This punk had never been on the receiving end before, and I had no plans on stopping. But then a chair came flying from my side, forcing me to finally stop. Mitchell's friends had arrived, shouting for me to let him go. Coldly, I looked at them and asked, "And what if I don't want to?" The guys were shocked, asking if I'd gone crazy. Young Minyu and his crew didn't know me. Until today, I was a nobody. He was wondering why I was so calm, even though he knew they were about to fight. Young Minyu was cautious, but the big guy with him, all muscle and not a lot of brain. He was ready for a fight, and you and I both know Kang Chang-seok is the strongest in the school model group. He stared at me with his ugly mug, trying to intimidate me. But I wasn't backing down an inch. Then a kid runs in screaming the teacher's on her way, and that's what saved my skin. Mikkel couldn't even get up, but he had enough strength to promise they'd finish this later. Kang Chang then said he knew his days were numbered. As they were leaving, they warned me that running from them was impossible. But even then, I showed absolutely zero fear. Mikkel just sat at his desk, head down. Today, of all days, he was humiliated in front of everyone, and he can't even remember how it happened. He's already planning something way worse than just throwing me off the school roof. His death glare was burning a hole through me as he plotted exactly how he and his crew were going to take me out. But I wasn't distracted. My mind was perfectly calm. Now here's the thing, in everyone's eyes, I'm just a wimp. But they have no idea that version of me is long gone. In the other room, the bullies were counting down the seconds until class ended. Young Minyu tells the group that I didn't even flinch when they showed up. Now they have to make an example out of me, so no one else ever thinks of fighting back. Back in my room, the final class ends, the teacher leaves, and Mikkel gets up. He never even saw my kick coming. Once again, I made him eat the bottom of my shoe. His eyes screamed that he was about to pass out, but I couldn't let that happen just yet. He needed to feel every single second of this. Mikkel didn't know me, but he was sure I was a total coward, so where did all this courage come from? Instead of running, I hit him first, and now I was doing it again. Even as the others were screaming at me that I was completely screwed. After class, they immediately came looking for me. They were sure I'd be hiding somewhere. But when they got to my classroom, they found a crowd of students at the door like some kind of show was going on. Young Minyu felt a pit in his stomach. Mitchell's friends shoved everyone aside to get a look, and when they finally did, I was just holding a trash bag, then I stopped cleaning and said, "You're late." This guy here, he's my little buddy now. Kang Chang Seok charged like a tank. I've run this simulation in my head millions of times. I'm not strong enough to beat them in a straight fight, but I can do this. I grabbed a metal padlock and smashed it into his head. Maybe that was enough, but I wasn't stopping. I kept swinging with everything I had. It doesn't matter how big your muscles are if you don't have any in your skull. After I was done, I just threw him aside. Didn't care if he was breathing or not. The other two were completely frozen. By now, they have to be thinking I'm completely insane. Which is perfect because now they think I'm strong and crazy. I went for the biggest guy first. If I destroy this one in front of young Minyu, he'll be too terrified to move. I used my entire body weight. Jo Young-tak passed out from the impact, but I couldn't stop. I rained down a flurry of punches straight to his face. Just the sound of my fists hitting him had to be so brutal that young Minyu wouldn't even dream of attacking me from behind. When his face was broken, that dental bill is going to be insane. I've prepared for this fight for years in my mind. My body might be weak, but my will isn't. My whole body ached, but when I looked at young Minyu, trust me, you and I are about to see him break. All right, let's watch this bully question his entire life. The irony is just perfect. He was seeing me in a whole new light now, his life flashing before his eyes. I walked right up and with an ice-cold voice asked him if his teeth were strong. Young Minyu froze solid, but right as I was about to test them, a teacher arrived. He was here to check out the noise. Young Minyu smirked, knowing I was stuck now. The teacher saw the 3 students passed out on the floor, and young Minyu was sure. He was sure I was screwed, but I wouldn't be so certain. He dragged me to the staff room. In there, he pointed his finger at me, lecturing about limits and not smashing faces. But that wasn't the real reason he was so furious, not even close. He just didn't want the hassle of dealing with those specific problem students. He claimed in his 10 years of teaching, he'd never seen something like this. That the parents of those rich kids would make him pay dearly. I cut him off, "Teacher, no need for such a fuss. This isn't your first time with violence, is it? Aren't you good at making problems disappear? Just handle it like you always do. Cover it up, don't blow this out of proportion." The teacher immediately snapped. He slapped me hard across the face. The other teachers, they acted like nothing happened. But their reaction was exactly what Kim Yun expected, his tragic end. In his previous life wasn't just caused by the bullies, it was also because of them. These despicable adults who chose to be blind, especially his homeroom teacher. A man who'd committed countless dirty deeds behind the scenes, so Kim Hunsung whispered. He threatened, "If you keep making trouble, I'll have to spill everything. About you taking bribes, I know all about your chats with young Minyu's mother. You also have your secrets with the foreign language teacher, so you better behave. You two-faced fraud. You know, people always ask why victims don't tell their teachers. Kim Hunsung had actually tried that in his past life, but the teacher didn't give a damn. His only advice was, get along with your classmates. That one sentence pushed Kim Hunsung deeper into hell. What followed was even more vicious. The tyrants of the school came after him harder than ever. He could never get it. As a teacher, if you find out your student is being bullied, shouldn't you help? Shouldn't you at least try to understand the situation? That day, the teacher had seen it. He had witnessed the entire beatdown with his own eyes. Kim Hunsung was certain. He was certain the teacher would finally act, but get this, he just turned around and left. He pretended nothing ever happened. He only found out later that the homeroom teacher was regularly taking bribes, and Young Minu's parents were his single biggest paycheck. From that moment on, Kim Hunsung decided he would only ever rely on himself. On his own fists, that day, the war with the bullies reached a boiling point. Young Minu's parents came to the school personally just to throw their weight around. Because of that pressure, Kim Hunsung's grandmother was forced to apologize. All while the bullies faced zero consequences. It wasn't until he became a vegetable that he truly understood that brute force alone would never bring him justice. Only by completely shutting down the adults' interference could he get his true revenge. The homeroom teacher, now totally exposed, was starting to panic. Kim Hunsung said coldly, "Before you speak to me ever again, you'd better think. You take money from Young Minu's parents every single month. You also have an improper relationship with the English teacher who already has 3 children. And that's not your only dirty little secret. Want me to keep going? Because if this gets out, your teaching career is over. Don't even think about trying to wave this off as just some rumor. Because if you do, I'll drop out of school myself just to ruin your life. And trust me, that's how this ends." The teacher finally cracked. "What do you want from me?" The answer was simple. "Just keep turning a blind eye, exactly like you've always done, except now. The one you're protecting is me. Bury what happened today, and I promise I won't use your secrets against you until graduation. You get what I'm saying?" With the homeroom teacher now firmly in his pocket, Kim Hunsung had his first piece on the board. But he needed to set up his next move, and fast. Before that, though, there was one more thing he had to take care of. Right now, Young Minu was throwing a tantrum in the classroom. He had to admit Kim Hunsung's sudden change in aura shook him, but he figured no one else noticed. He had to reestablish that he was the king of this school. He couldn't let some nobody like Hunsung knock him off his throne. After blowing off some steam, a new thought crept in. Hunsung taking out 3 guys at once had to be a total fluke, and now, this is where it gets good. One-on-one, he was sure he'd crush him, and as if on cue, Kim Hunsung appeared. "We still have some unfinished business, don't we?" Young Minu broke out in a cold sweat. A fist flew through the air, sending him and his chair crashing to the floor. The once fearsome Young Minu now looked like a terrified lamb waiting for the end. Hunsung walked up and kicked him square in the jaw. Blood and spit went flying. Young Minu started screaming for help. "This guy's a complete psycho, somebody. Please, someone save me." Suddenly, the homeroom teacher showed up. For a second, Minu thought he was saved, but the teacher just looked away. "I wouldn't count on anyone helping you, not in this school. Let that sink in. No one will ever stand up for you." After the beatdown, Kim Hunsung felt empty. The guy who made his life hell for 3 years was now a trembling mess after just a couple of hits. It made Hunsung realize just how weak he'd been. The other students were so terrified they barely dared to breathe. In their eyes, Kim Hunsung's school life was completely over. You see, the principal had always dreamed of making the school an elite academy. That meant keeping a very good relationship with all the powerful parents. And now 4 of their precious kids had been sent to the hospital by Kim Hunsung. The principal was furious. He declared Hunsung had to be expelled immediately. Just as the English teacher raised her hand to agree, the homeroom teacher nudged her. He signaled her to stay quiet. "If you don't want our affair exposed, you better help me protect Kim Hunsung." If he goes down, we both go down. The teacher glanced over at Hunsung, and I mean, you and I can both see it. The kid was perfectly calm. Chillingly so, the teacher quickly started his defense. Yes, he made a mistake, but he is not the only one to blame here. According to other students, Young Minyu and his crew have been bullying others for a long, long time. I was already planning to punish them myself. But I never expected Kim Hunsung, unable to take the abuse, would snap like this. He was a victim long before he became the aggressor. Punishing him now goes against our duty. The principal finally announced a disciplinary committee would convene in 1 week to decide Kim Hunsung's fate. Until then, he was suspended and needed to return with a guardian. Hunsung just coolly replied, "Understood." The homeroom teacher rushes after him, saying, "I did everything I could for you, but this is out of my hands." Hunsung understood perfectly. He had specifically chosen this teacher because the man was sharp and, if handled correctly, would throw himself completely into a cause. And this is where you and I see just how ruthless our MC is. He says, "I know, but you knew about the bullying from the very beginning, didn't you? So remember this. Until I graduate, there is only one way to keep me quiet. You will do absolutely everything you can for me. If you ever fail to show your loyalty, I will tear your life to shreds. And I promise you, I always keep my word." As much as Hunsung wanted to see the teacher ruined, he couldn't discard such a useful pawn just because he was angry. Until Hunsung cemented his own spot at the school, the teacher still had his uses. In 1 week, everything the principal hoped for was about to blow up in his face. To get why he's so cold, you have to see where he's coming from. After 10 years in a hospital bed, Hunsung was finally walking the familiar road back home. His family lived in a rundown apartment. As a kid, he hated it, but now the sight filled him with a painful nostalgia. Back then, hearing his grandmother was going to sell their home just to pay his hospital bills had made his entire world come crashing down. When he arrived, he found his grandmother wasn't there. She must have gone out to work again, trying to earn more money. He took a moment to compose himself, refusing to let the sadness take over. He had finally been given a second chance. And beyond mere revenge, he was determined to make sure his grandmother would never have to struggle again. He has 1 week to get ready, and trust me, the plan he's cooking up is brilliant. First, he needs to get stronger himself. Winning over a certain someone would also give him a massive advantage in future fights. Second, he has to build a crew strong enough to stand up to the school bullies. He's just a broke student. He can't pull off his revenge all on his own. Third, and most importantly, he needs to find powerful backing that can fix any problems, making sure his plans can actually be carried out. To deal with the disciplinary committee, this backing was his #1 priority. Now pay attention, because this is where those 10 years of hearing the TV news finally come into play. The chairman of Myeongjin Construction was about to choose his successor. The eldest son, Go Chang-baum, only had a high school diploma. In contrast, his younger brother, Go Chang-silk, graduated from a top university and married into a powerful family, which massively expanded his connections. One day, the older brother got arrested for assaulting a civilian. He tried to explain that the other guy started it, but with no security cameras at the scene, he couldn't prove his innocence. The police knew the family had major connections. Releasing the older brother would definitely offend his younger brother, Gangok. Gangok's influence was already starting to overshadow his brother's. The older brother knew this incident could completely destroy his bid for succession. And this is where our real story begins. Stick with me on this. He was cornered, unable to clear his name, when a high school kid suddenly appeared right beside him. The kid points at Go Chang-baum. "I'm here as a witness for this man." After the police saw the footage, they finally believed Go Chang-baum hadn't actually started the fight, since there were no cameras at the scene. Turns out, Kim Hunsung had pulled the dash cam footage from a nearby car. This gentleman was provoked, he says. He had no choice but to defend himself. If he's guilty of anything, it's just that he knocked the other guy out with a single punch. Jenim throws an arm around Kim Yun. Hey, you're not just a pretty face, you've got a silver tongue too. With hard evidence like this, the police had no choice but to let him go. Go Chang Bayam then gets right in the officer's face. I'll remember you. Your life is about to get very, very interesting. Once outside, Gang Bayam immediately tried to thank Kim Hunsung, whipping out a huge wad of cash as a reward. He expected a kid this age to be blown away by the money, but Kim Yun was completely unfazed. Clearly, this was no ordinary high schooler. Suddenly, Kim Yun asks him, sharp as a knife, do you really think today was just a coincidence? And now for the bombshell. Pay close attention to this next part. He says, I know you're Gang Bayam, eldest son of the Kang group, locked in a war for succession with your younger brother. Gang Bayam's entire expression changed. Who the hell are you? But Kim Hunsung didn't even flinch. I don't think it was an accident, and I have proof to back that up. If you're really grateful, just give me 1 hour. I guarantee you have nothing to lose, and it might just change your entire future. So they head to a nearby cafe. Kim Yun hands over the original dash cam memory card. The footage shows it all. 30 minutes before the incident, those thugs were already waiting in the area. The moment Go Changbaum showed up, they deliberately moved in to pick a fight. He looks at him, honestly, you've suspected it, haven't you? Ever since this succession race began, it feels like someone's been setting you up constantly. Haven't you ever thought that maybe all of this was planned by your brother, Go Chongguk, just to trash your reputation? Go Chungbam cuts to the chase, so what is it you want? When the kid says he wants to help him get revenge and become the next chairman, he just starts laughing. A high school kid, but Kim Hunsung's next words shut him up cold. I know you have a big team fighting for you in this succession war, but haven't you realized? They're all secretly working for your brother. You and I both know that one had to hurt. I know you won't believe me right away, but I hope you'll at least give me a chance to prove it. Outside, Go Changbam thinks it over for a long time. The kid's right. Compared to my brother, I've got nothing. If this keeps up, I'm going to lose it all, but can I really put my faith in a kid I just met? He remembers his father's words. If you lack ability, find people who have it and make them work for you. Don't worry about age, gender, or background. As long as they are useful to you, that's all that matters. Gang Bayam decides to take a huge gamble. Okay, tell me your plan. I'll hear you out completely before I decide. So what's the plan? Trust me, we're about to hear the start of a genius-level takedown. He has a degree from a top university. He married into a powerful family, and almost everyone has already sided with him. Besides being the oldest son, you have nothing. All right, you and I are jumping in. The odds are stacked against him, but I still think he's the one. Because his brother Ji Chang Suk looks perfect on paper, but there is a catch. Their father only wants this competition for one simple reason: he's old-fashioned. He wants his firstborn son to inherit the family business. So what if Gang Suk, who excels at everything, were suddenly dragged down to your disastrous level? Who do you really think their father would choose? You need 3 things to win. First up, connections, and on that front, you've already lost. Through his marriage, Gang Suk has locked himself in with the local elite. Second, reputation, and yours is that of a reckless, hot-headed thug. Third, ability. While you've been living it up, your brother was already climbing the corporate ladder. So let's circle back to that first point. We have to shatter his connections. You must drive a wedge right between Go Chang Suk and his powerful wife. Once she stops supporting him, your brother is right back at the starting line with you. And before long, Go Chang Suk, now watch this, he gets absolutely devastating news. His wife found his secret villa. She then proceeds to give his mistress a serious beatdown. The scandal hits the Go family hard. Their entire reputation is in shambles. Chairman Jiang Jin is furious. I told you, a man who can't keep it in his pants will only bring disaster. If you're going to fool around, you might as well be like your brother. Live like a bum and stay single for life. And you, Go Changbam, why did you end up at the police station again? Gomong Jin expected his eldest son to be defiant, as usual. But to his shock, this time he actually admitted his mistake and promised it would never happen again. Gung Jin was actually pleased. I know the other guys started it, but you still did everything you could to avoid a bigger fight. You did well. I'm proud of you. I mean, let that sink in for a second. After the brothers leave, the younger one is seething with pure rage. I don't know who gave my wife the address, but if I ever find them, I'll tear them to pieces. Meanwhile, the elder brother, Go Chang Bayam, is just basking in that rare praise. My father usually just scolds me. He actually complimented me today. From now on, I want to keep earning his approval. Of course, this was all thanks to Kim Yan's masterful coaching from the shadows. After this whole incident, Gong Bayam has taken a serious liking to Kim Yan. He declares that he will follow his lead from now on. Kim Yan says, next, you join the company and start from the very bottom. At the mention of that, Gang Bayam frowns, but a moment later, he just relaxes. Whatever you say, I'll do it. Then Kim Yan raises one condition. I'll help you, but you need to meet my demands too. Go Changbom replies generously, just say the word, Hansung. For you, I will do anything. 1 week later at the school, the disciplinary committee is about to begin. Young Minu's mother confronts the homeroom teacher and slaps him hard across the face. If you want to keep your job, you better make sure the kid who hit my son gets expelled. The homeroom teacher finds himself stuck in a completely impossible position. He tries to persuade Kim Yan to admit he was wrong and take the lightest punishment. Kim Yan replies, I know young Minu's mother is putting all this pressure on you. But you better make your allegiance clear. If I go down, you are going down with me, and that's where we see the homeroom teacher, utterly desperate. No matter which side he chose, his future looks bleak. That was until he saw Kim Yan's guardian walk in. He recognized that face from the nightlife scene. If he wasn't mistaken, that was Go Chang Bayam, the eldest son of the powerful Kangong group in Daean City. This was someone nobody in their right mind would ever dare to cross. And he was here as Kim Yansung's guardian. The teacher didn't have time to process it all. He was the only one here who knew who Go Chang Bayam really was, and he knew he had to switch sides fast. He immediately flipped the script, testifying that young Minu had been the bully, and Kim Yan had only been defending himself. When the principal heard this, he broke out in a cold sweat. Mr. Kim Yang-chu, you better be telling the truth. But the teacher doubled down, pointing the finger right at young Minu. That day, Kim Yan's son saw a classmate being bullied, and he just couldn't stand by. He stepped in, stop fighting, we're all students here. But he was threatened by young Minu's entire gang. I mean, if someone tried to hurt you, wouldn't you fight back? It is crystal clear that Kim Yan was acting in pure self-defense. He only fought back to protect himself. Now, if we ignore the real cause and punish Kim Yan's harshly, we're just adults refusing to see the truth behind the violence. The principal was completely rattled. What kind of nonsense is this? We are dealing with this school's first violent incident. 4 students ended up in the emergency room. Violence is never justified, no matter what the reason. We have to punish the one responsible severely. It's the only way parents will trust us with their children. So first, let's hear from young Minu. The victim's story should be the most reliable. Young Minu put on his best scared little victim act and started lying through his teeth. All I saw was Kim Yan beating up my classmates. You can ask anyone, it's a fact that he started it. I only ran in because I saw my friend getting hurt. I never thought Kim Yan would actually use a weapon. I don't get why the teacher is trying to blame me. This isn't even his first time being violent. The teacher called him out, and when he came back, he attacked me in front of everybody. I didn't do a thing. How is that my fault? Young Minu's mother jumped right in to fan the flames. Just look at my son's face. He has been beaten beyond recognition. How can this kind of violence happen in a supposedly prestigious school? If this can happen to my Minu, It can happen to any child here. We have to punish the student responsible, or this school will never be safe." Her words whipped the other parents into a frenzy, and just like that, they were all calling for Kim Yan-sung's head. Suddenly, a loud thump silenced the room. A new voice cut through the noise, a bunch of useless cowards talking nonsense. "Are you all just going to pretend you don't know what's really going on? Don't you see those so-called students are nothing but monsters in human skin?" The principal snapped. "How dare you call our students monsters?" The voice shot back. "If they aren't monsters, what are they? I've already done my research. Young Minu's little gang is notorious for extortion and theft. Everyone around here knows it, yet you sit here and protect them. Are you all taking bribes? Those punks might be in the hospital now, but Kim Yong-sun only fought to protect himself. Didn't the homeroom teacher just say it? You have to see the truth. If you were bullied by thugs like this, would you just stand there? All right, let's jump right into the chaos, as young Minu's mother completely loses it. Call my son a thug. I heard that Kim Hyun doesn't even have parents. Who are you to talk? But Go Chong Bayam just flashes a proud smile. At first, he hadn't understood why Kim Hyun wanted him as his guardian. If it was just about money, he could have said so directly. Kim Hyun explained, "To pull off my plans, I need your resources, but what I need most is overwhelming power. I'm going to make big waves at school, and some of it might even cross the line, so I need you to clean up after me. If you're my backer, no one in this city will dare touch me, and I promise I'll make sure you become the next successor." Go Chong Bei had agreed instantly. "No matter what trouble you cause, I'll take care of it all." And now, facing young Minu's mother, you and I are about to see him drop an absolute bombshell. He declares, "I'm Kim Hyun's guardian and the eldest son of the Kang group. Hyun is my most cherished little brother. He would never cause trouble for no reason. The moment I heard he was called here, I dropped everything and came running. I was even planning on donating to this school in the Kang group's name. But now I see there's no point. This place isn't just managed poorly. The entire atmosphere is rotten. He's been bullied every single day. Should he be punished for finally fighting back? Why did you turn a blind eye when he was the victim? If you ignored him because he had no status, then I'll make sure this so-called prestigious school is completely ruined. Every single bully and every adult who protected them will be finished in this city. I'll use every last resource I have to ensure it." The entire room is stunned. The principal never imagined the heir of Kang Group was Kim Hyun's guardian. If he sides with Young Minu now, he'll lose any connection to them. The school would be shunned by every powerful family in the city. However, if he turns on young Minu's family, it's the perfect opportunity. The chance to win Kang Group's favor, his dream of a top-tier school, would be just a matter of time, and I know what you're thinking. Watch this flip. The principal immediately puts all the blame on young Minu. In fact, I've heard he's the ringleader of that delinquent group. Kim Hyun, on the other hand, is the most outstanding student at this entire school. For him to do this, there must be a good reason, so let's hear from Kim Hyun himself. Kim Hyun speaks up. "My friends reported this to the teachers countless times. But every single time, the teachers would just say, 'The young Minu I know isn't like that.' Even when the truth was obvious, all they ever got was a simple verbal warning. That only made young Minu's crew more brazen with their violence. Yes, I hit young Minu, and I sent his friends to the emergency room, but why? Is it that after my one act of violence, I'm the one in front of this committee? Is it because my response was too violent, or is it because you think I have no power? If you don't severely punish the group that's been doing this all along, I'll make sure everyone outside this school learns the truth of what really goes on. There's only one way to silence me: fair punishment for everyone involved." At this, young Minu's mother completely panics. "I won't allow it. You will not punish my son. All of you just wait. I'm calling my husband." Now she called her husband. begging him for help, but the second he heard the name Gacheng Bei, his entire tone just flipped. He started yelling at her. How could you act that way in front of the Kangong Group's oldest son? And you know, this is where you realize how deep the corruption goes. He asks, do you want our family ruined because of you? Come home, now let Young Minyu face his punishment. In the end, Kim Yan gets a sentence of 100 hours of community service. Young Minyu, on the other hand, gets expelled. He can't accept it and lunges at Kim Yan, but a hand shoots out and stops him. It's his own mother. With a cold smirk, Kim Yan says, kneel and beg me. And I know what you're thinking, did he just say that? Young Minyu sure thought he misheard. I said kneel and beg me. I'm the one who got expelled, why should I kneel for you? Kim Yongsung just pointed at his mom. You should probably ask her if you should kneel or not. Young Minyu's mother looks away, she can't even meet his eyes. Kim Yongsung adds, do your best to win me over, maybe I'll forgive you. That's when his mother finally speaks. Minyu Neil beg him. He has no clue what is happening, but he obeys, dropping to his knees. I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. But Kim Yan shows zero mercy. Just wait, you have so much more misery coming your way. And with that, the disciplinary committee was finally over. Kim Yan had taken one more step towards the shadows that almost took his life. Just then, he gets a text from Park Menchel asking to meet. The second Kim Yan arrives, Park starts trying to suck up to him. Cut the crap, get to the point. Kim Yongsung tells him he knows exactly what this is about. Even Young Minyu, with all his connections, was forced to his knees. What chance did a powerless nobody like Park Menchel even have? Park immediately begs for mercy, hoping he can avoid getting expelled. From now on, I'll do anything you say. I'll even work like a dog for you. And this is the moment the entire story gets a whole lot bigger. Park reveals a hidden force ordered them to bully Kim Yansung. When Park hesitates to say the name, Yansung grabs him. I already know who's pulling your strings. While he was in his coma, Yansung saw a news report about a student who jumped off a building. That student's suicide note exposed the truth. A group called the Golden Circle was behind it, but its core members were still a mystery. The Golden Circle's founder saw a way to profit from others' pain and built a twisted business from it. They recruit students who have absolute power in their schools, then make deals with rich, influential parents in exchange for protection and guaranteed top grades. These students are ordered to take down anyone who scores better than them. For Kim Yan's revenge to be complete, he vowed to expose every single member of the Golden Circle and crush them all. Tell me, how did the Golden Circle find you? Park Menchel is stunned that Yansung knows so much. Senior Shiny Young Min contacted us, he stammers. Shiny Young Min, the school's ultimate tyrant. He basically runs the place. While he might not be a core member, Shin Young Min was definitely the Golden Circle's way into the school. But dealing with him won't be easy. Trust me, you're gonna want to see what happens next because Shin Young Min is on track to become a pro MMA fighter. Challenging him now would just be asking for a brutal beatdown. For now, Kim Yongsung had to decide what to do. His hatred for Park's family had never gone away. His grandmother once groveled for forgiveness, only to be hit with insults and humiliation. Let me show you what will happen every single time you see me from now on. And with that, Kim Yan slapped him hard. In his past life, Park got married and lived like a model husband, while Young Minyu and the others all lived their best lives. I never believed that evil gets punished by evil. No, an eye for an eye, that is the only eternal law. I hope you all carry these scars for the rest of your miserable lives. After Young Minyu's expulsion, Kim Yan became the talk of the entire school. Turns out it's the quiet ones who are the most terrifying when they finally snap. Once they break, they go completely dark inside. Just then, Kim Yan walked in. The classroom, once buzzing with noise, fell dead silent. After he took his seat, someone approached from behind him and whispered, "Thank you." It was the chubby kid Yan had saved from Park Menchel. He thanked Kim Yan for stepping up and promised he'd help him out any time. But Yan replied coldly. Before the committee, you acted like you didn't know a thing. You said you were too scared to testify for me, and now you want to say thanks. From this point on, whatever happens to you is none of my business. Get out of my sight, I don't want to see your face again. Meanwhile, Xinjiang Min was furious. He thought Kim Yan was a nobody, but his guardian turned out to be the heir to Mongjin Constructions. In this town, nobody could stand against someone like Kang. But pay attention, because Xinjiang Min wasn't about to just give up. Now he had the perfect excuse to squeeze even more money out of the golden circle. He ordered the top fighter of the first years, Park Jin-woo, to the rooftop, who arrived trembling. Xinjiang Min slapped him across the face and said, "There's a kid in your year named Kim Yan. I want you to destroy him, make sure he never walks again." At the same time, Kim Yan was already preparing for the war to come. He had to keep his grades up. That was the only way he could become a real thorn in the side of a Golden Circle member. He already had his suspects, but with no hard evidence, he couldn't make a move. His first priority was simple: get stronger. So after school, he headed to Young Dutch's gym. Young Dutch was once Korea's first world champion in MMA, but now he was just an unpopular, retired fighter. Young asked him what kind of training he was looking for. Yan's answer was blunt. "I want to get so good at fighting that I can crush every single bully in this school." Young's expression instantly turned cold, and yeah, I think you and I can guess what's coming. If you're only here to learn how to brawl, I can't teach you. Young Dutch, the nation's first UFFL champion, was now running this tiny, rundown gym. His career imploded after he failed a drug test right after a match. He never gave an explanation, he just walked away from the sport. Despite all that, he later spent a year training another fighter who went on to become a champion. "If I can get you to train me personally, my skills will go through the roof," Yan stated. "Didn't you also do whatever it took to win?" "I'm just doing what's necessary to reach my goal." "What's so wrong with that?" Young replied. "That was a stupid mistake. If I had another chance, I would never make that same choice again. I don't want you to end up like me. Go home, I can't help you. 100 million won. Trust me, that's an offer that changes things. Agree to train me, and I'll transfer the money tomorrow. So even if I walk away, you lose nothing. You should have thought about the consequences before you took those drugs, but you made your choice. And I'm choosing to fight bullies, even if I end up crippled or in jail. Stick with me here. I've already accepted that risk, just like you did when you took those drugs. I'm desperate, I need your help." And with that, something in Young Dutch finally shifts. "Fine, I'll help you train, but first, a test. Step into this ring. If you can last just one round with me, I'll admit you're serious." That night when Kim Yan got home, seeing him like this broke his grandmother's heart. "Which monster did this to my grandson? Just tell grandma who it was." "I won't let them get away with it. Let's rewind a bit, back to the gym." After Kim Young-sung offered 100 million won for training, Young Dutch gave him a shot. Now here's the deal: if he can stay on his feet for 3 minutes, he passes. The round starts and Young attacks first. His punch lands square on Yansung's guard. He thought he blocked it, but the raw power just smashed right through, connecting with his nose. A sharp pain shoots straight to his brain. His body hits the canvas before he even knows what happened. Get up. Only 10 seconds have passed. What came next was an absolute beatdown. Young unleashed a storm of blows, relentless and brutal. All Yansung could do was cover his head. If any of these connect clean, it's lights out. Then Young switches it up. A vicious low kick. Yansung's leg goes completely numb. You can still quit. But he just grits his teeth and forces himself back up. The 3 minutes aren't over yet. To stop his stamina from draining, Yansung decides to charge forward. He has to change the momentum, but to a pro fighter. That just leaves his chin wide open, the perfect spot to land a knockout. Yansung collapses to the mat, stiff as a board. Young needed the money, sure, but no way was he selling his pride to some kid who couldn't even handle this. "Just stay down," but then a voice from behind him. It's not over, let's keep going. And yeah, I know what you're thinking, this kid's insane. Maybe this guy wasn't bluffing about wanting to learn. He had been holding back, trying not to injure him too badly, but this time, he'd have to go all out. Yan shields his head, watching for another low kick. But Young changes his target again. A brutal punch to the liver sends agony ripping through Hunsung's entire body. A hit like that can make a man vomit, pass out, or even die. His body starts to shake, completely out of his control. He wants to get up, but his body just won't listen. This kind of pain can't be beaten by willpower. Just give up and go home, but Yan screams at himself, "You useless piece of trash. Get up, isn't this the moment you've been waiting for? You spent 10 years like a vegetable, stuck in a bed, wishing for death every single day. You can't handle this much pain. If you don't want to go back to that hell, then get up now." Under Young's stunned gaze, Kim Yansung stands once more, that last hit. Most professional fighters wouldn't have gotten up from that. What kind of life has this kid lived? If someone like him gets real power, it could completely destroy him. Determined to stop him from a life of regret, Young swears to end it right here. His next punch is at full power. Yansung tells himself to endure it, no matter what. Even if his nose shatters, even if his teeth get knocked out, he's giving it all he's got. You and I both know this is gonna hurt. The attacks were getting relentless. Yan could barely even keep his guard up when the timer suddenly blared, saving him from the brink. Jung couldn't help but let out a curse. Trust me, you can feel his frustration. The kid actually survived. Don't go telling anyone I beat you up. Just send me the money later. His grandmother's heart just shattered seeing his swollen, bruised face. Yan reassured her it was just a little trouble at school and everything was fine now. Over dinner, he asks if she has any bank books. See, Mongjin Construction has a new housing project, telling her to apply. If they get picked, it'll be worth a fortune down the road. He wanted to just hand his grandmother the 100 million won directly, but she would just get suspicious about the source. This way, she wouldn't suspect a thing. The next day, the school tyrant, Shiny Yang Min, calls Park Jin-woo up to the rooftop. He claps Park on the shoulder, praising him for being so efficient. I just gave the order, and you already handled Kim Yan. I'm impressed. From now on, you're my sworn brother. But Park Jin-woo is just confused. Then he spots Yan's bruised and battered face. What happened to him? Did he get too cocky and get wrecked by someone else? Shinyong Min thinks I did this. And here's the thing, if Yan can get this messed up, maybe he's not the big shot everyone thinks he is. Shinyong Min then orders his lackeys. Anyone close to Kim Yan, I won't let a single one of them go. Under Young Du Cho's guidance, Kim Yan begins a hellish, high-intensity training regimen. Young is impressed by his endurance, so he decides to put him through some special training. As long as you can keep up with me, everyone else will be kneeling at your feet. A week later, Kim Yan is deep in his studies when his old friend, Park Jin-woo, suddenly shows up. Hearing him say he doesn't want to shut him out like everyone else leaves Yan confused. Park Jin-woo is surprised. Yan has no idea he's being isolated. So he explains that the top bully has threatened everyone, warning that if anyone gets close to Yan, they'll become a target. You and I have been friends for 10 years. I can't just watch you be alone. Now let this sink in. In Yan's previous life, Park Jin-woo saw him getting bullied and immediately stepped in to protect him. But that just made him the new target. After the bullies broke his leg, Park Jin-woo had to pretend he didn't even know Yan. Later, while Yan lay in a coma, Park Jin-woo even came to apologize, saying if there's a next life, he'd never leave him alone again. This time, Yan refuses to let Park Jin-woo get hurt because of him. Don't act like we're close. Just ignore me like everyone else. I can handle this myself. But Park Jin-woo insists, I won't let you face this alone. I'll find you after class. Still, Yan couldn't let him get involved. He'd just end up broken again. Except for family, all other ties had to be severed. After class, Yan wonders how to convince his friend to just give up, but time passes and he's a no-show. Then he overhears some classmates whispering, Park Jin-woo is done for. I just saw Shin Young-min drag him away. Yan's heart stops. The very next second, he's sprinting like a cheetah, and you and I both know he won't let history repeat itself. Meanwhile, Shin Young-min and his crew have Park Jin-woo cornered in the bathroom. I warned everyone to stay away from Kim Yan. Didn't you hear me, or do you? Not care a bit, Park Jin-woo faced the bullies without a shred of fear. He's my. Stick with me, you're about to see what real loyalty looks like in a manhwa. The lead bully was about to strike, but Jin-woo was faster, landing the first punch. He humiliated him in front of his crew. Enraged, the bully ordered everyone to attack at once. Facing a group assault, all Jin-woo could think about was Kim Yansung. He knew his friend was pushing him away to protect him, but in the end, he got involved anyway, even if Yansung was angry about it. He couldn't regret standing up for him. To Jin-woo, Yansung was more than a childhood friend. He could never just abandon him. Jin-woo saw his chance. A hard kick straight to the chest. The bully just smirks. I heard you do taekwondo. There's always some show-off like you. You learn a few moves and now you think you're tough. This world is about your background, your connections. Your problem is you think you're special. From now on, you and Kim Yansung are gonna wish you were dead. Every single day, I can call you out whenever I want. Get used to it. Just then, the bathroom door gets kicked open. Kim Yansung storms in, furious. What are you doing? The bully had wanted to deal with Yansung for a while, and this was the perfect time. But physically, they were a mismatch, so Yansung decided to provoke him, to make him lose control. He starts taunting him. Everyone's saying you beat me up. It's humiliating. You're nothing but a fat pig, if you have to gang up on him to win. What does that say about you? The bully, a brute who only knew force, took the bait. And just like that, he takes the bait, demanding a one-on-one. You need to see this. His moves were big, wide open, and so easy to counter. Yansung just kept taunting him. What a waste of muscle. Losing his temper, the bully charged in with all his strength. Completely confident in his power, but Yansung remembered his master's lesson. Keep your distance, strike repeatedly, until your opponent can no longer stand. Today, Yansung had to put real fear into every single one of them, and soon. The bully was beaten within an inch of his life, no matter how strong a bully is. He was still just a student. Faced with a demon like Yansung, he finally broke. Tell me honestly, were you the one who jumped me? Say it out loud for everyone. The bully was scared out of his mind. He stammered. It was all Shin Young's idea. I could never beat you. If it weren't for him, none of this would have happened. Please don't hit me again. I'll never mess with you again, I swear. Yansung then turned to the others. Don't you ever lay a finger on Park Jin-woo again. Then he kicks the bully hard in the jaw. If I see you touch him again, I will come for every single one of you. After this, Yansung warned Jin-woo to stay away in the future so he wouldn't get dragged into more of his fights. But Jin-woo grabbed Yansung's hand, insisting, even if it happens again, I'll still stand up for you, seeing he couldn't change his friend's mind. Yansung laid it all out. You think these fights are accidents, I'm the one provoking them. They all deserve it. This is just the beginning. I'm going to wipe out every single bully here, even if it costs me everything I have. I can't tell you the whole truth yet, just know I'm out for revenge. If you keep being my friend, you'll keep getting dragged into things like today. If you can't even beat someone like that guy, it's better you stay out of my business. Let's end things here. You can't handle it. You and I both know this is far from over. Shin Youngmin was trying to figure out how to spend all his new cash. He couldn't believe bullying a few kids could make him hundreds of thousands. So easily, and just like that, the classroom door gets kicked open. Now pay attention. It was Kim Yan. He stared down Shin Youngmin, his voice ice-cold and vicious. Are you that bastard, Shin Youngmin? He'd never been disrespected like that before. He was about to completely lose it, but Kim Yan gave him zero time to react. Launching a kick straight for his head, Shin Youngmin just barely raised his arms to block it. Who the hell are you? attacking someone without an introduction. Kim Yan said nothing, just charged right back in with his fists flying. Shin Youngmin cursed him out. Who the hell are you? He could tell this guy had some training. But his punches felt weak, and all his moves were way too predictable. The very next second, however, a powerful blow slammed right into his gut. Shin Youngmin coughed up blood on the spot. You want to know who I am? I'm Kim Yan, the one you've been searching for, now that the kid was talking. Shin Youngmin demanded to know what he wanted, but Kim Yan wasn't answering. Instead, he grabbed a chair and just smashed it down with full force. Shin Youngmin thinks he's a maniac for using a chair, but trust me, this is all part of the plan. He had to keep the pressure on constantly, or he knew he would lose this. Shin Youngmin had been on defense the whole time, but he finally fought back. Grabbing Kim Yan's fist, you are not walking out of this classroom alive. Kim Yan raised an arm to block, only for Shin Youngmin to copy the move. And then suddenly change the angle of his attack. Think you're the only one who can fake me out. Kim Yan gritted his teeth, just telling himself to hang on for a little longer. He knew from the start he was no match for Shin Youngmin's pure strength. He wasn't expecting to walk away unscathed. He was waiting for one single opening. And he was betting everything on it. Seeing his moment, he grabbed Shin Youngmin's leg. With a huge burst of force, he threw both of them directly toward the window. This classroom was on the top floor, and trust me, a fall from here would be instantly fatal. Luckily, Shin Youngmin clung to the window ledge for his dear life, utterly terrified. Kim Yan, with the eyes of a madman, said, "Either you die today or I do." A classmate screamed, "Somebody get that lunatic off of him." Shin Youngmin survived, but now he was completely and totally terrified of Kim Yan. Especially when Kim Yan leaned in and whispered a final, chilling threat. "You think this is over. The moment you laid a hand on my friend, you doomed yourself. So just wait, the next chance I get, I'll drive a chair leg through the back of your skull. I want you to remember this for the rest of your life, and you and I both know he means every word." "This is what happens when you cross me," a classmate asked if Shin Youngmin was all right. He tried to keep up his tough guy act. "Why are you asking? Didn't you see me beat that guy?" The student quickly apologized. "I did, but don't you think you should probably get your back?" Checked out at the hospital, soon after, someone ran to the homeroom teacher. They reported that Kim Yan had just beaten up Park Jinwoo in the bathroom. The teacher thought this was going to be a huge mess for the school, especially since the principal had just announced their goal to make the school a national model, but when he arrived at the office, the principal told him to drop it. Moungjin Construction's eldest son, Go Changbyum, has agreed to sponsor the school. Gets that money, but on one condition. As long as Yans is a student here, the school will cover up any and all trouble he causes. So this time, we'll pretend nothing even happened. Trust me, I'm not asking you to do this for free. When it comes to school bonuses and other rewards, you'll be the first one in line. And with Kang's new housing project, Go Changbam quietly set aside more than a dozen units just for us. Prices are skyrocketing right now. Don't you think you should grab a few for yourself? Just keep on doing what you've always done, protecting the students. Except now, the only one you need to protect is Kim Yan." The teacher instantly caught on and promised to handle everything perfectly. Seeing how easily he caved, the principal just said, "Call me Big Bro from now on." The teacher was more than happy to play along. The two of them immediately started acting like long-lost brothers. They had the same twisted goal: get Kim Yongsung through graduation without a scratch and enjoy the protection of Manhwa Construction's immense power. But while they were dreaming about their bright futures, someone burst in screaming, "Kim Yansung's been attacked." They both flew into a blind rage. Who in their right mind would dare to do it? Meanwhile, Shin Youngmin was fuming. Yansung had been the one to start it all, yet somehow Shin Youngmin was being framed as the attacker. And let me tell you, this next part is just infuriating. These two were clearly working together, refusing to hear a single word he said. I was almost thrown off the roof. A ton of people saw what happened. The teacher just patted his shoulder. Maybe, but the real question is, will anyone believe those so-called witnesses? Kim Yong-sun is the school's star student. Who do you think everyone is going to side with? Shin Young-min cursed under his breath. The teacher grabbed him by the collar. You dare raise your voice at me. Keep it up, and your punishment gets even worse. The teacher's shameless corruption felt both familiar and absolutely insane. He realized these two adults were just as rotten as the system they were a part of. Going after Kim Yong was going to be anything but easy. So in the end, he lowered his head and admitted he was at fault, but Shin Young-min wasn't about to give up. He decided to use some of his payout to hire Cho Tae-jun for some help. Kai Tae-jun was the middleman who recruited Muscle for the Golden Circle. If the thugs he hired screwed up, the blame would fall completely on his shoulders. And Golden Circle never, ever tolerated failure. This little trick of using connections to make problems disappear was classic Golden Circle style. Any student who so much as looked at Yan sideways was expelled, with the principal and teachers protecting him no matter what. Cho Tae-jun went to see the principal himself. I heard 4 students were recently sent to the hospital and expelled from your school. But the guy who hurt them, Kim Yan's, barely got a slap on the wrist. Frankly, this is serious enough to involve the police. Are you giving Kim Yong-sung some kind of special treatment? If you are, I will pursue this until the very end. The principal wasn't even fazed by the threat. We just wanted to protect our students' futures by not calling the police. We've already filed all the reports, so go ahead and do whatever you want. Cho Tae-jun shot back, I'm a man of my word, but the principal's expression didn't change one bit. Here in Dasan, threats like yours mean absolutely nothing. So Cho Tae-jun went straight to the police station, but even there, the police claimed that Kim Yan's actions were nothing more than self-defense. Furious, Cho Tae-jun threatened to expose the whole incident. And you and I both know just how powerful the internet can be. Do you? But the officer, just like the principal, was completely unfazed. This is Daejeon. Even if you make a scene online, it'll all be forgotten in a few days. Choi Tae-jun was officially out of moves. He never imagined the corruption ran this deep. He tried throwing money around to expose Kim Yan's connections, but it was no use. No one would take the bait. Every single public official was openly protecting him. If he couldn't figure out another angle, this mission was doomed to fail. And the Golden Circle, they don't take kindly to failure. His entire life was on the line. So he did what any cornered rat would do. He pushed all the pressure onto Shin Young-min. Our goal isn't to get rid of Kim Yan, just to tank his grades. I don't care how you pull it off, just get his scores down and we're done here. But if you give up or fail, we're not just coming for Kim Yan, you'll pay the price too. Shin Young-min cursed under his breath. That bastard swore he'd have his back. Now he's backing out and dumping this whole mess right on top of him. Just as he was trying to figure out his next move, someone cracked him over the head with a brick. And then a familiar voice said, "Told you to watch your back, Shin Young-min." He spun around, fist ready, but Kim Yan's next words stopped him cold. "Is that job really worth more than your own life? I heard your client paid the principal a visit. So yeah, I know the exact situation you're stuck in, but let me remind you of something. My guardian is the eldest son of Jin Construction. I never planned on settling this with just you. You've picked a fight you absolutely cannot win, and don't think getting expelled will be the end of it. I will do everything in my power to open a criminal case against you. You'll have a permanent record, and the second you're out of jail, Maung Jin Construction's people will be waiting. They'll make sure you can never make a living in this city again. If you want to live like a human, you're going to have to leave Daejeon for good. But even if you run, I will not let you go. My goal is simple. Anyone who lays a hand on me, I will completely and utterly destroy them. So if you want to stay here, grit your teeth and take it. Learn from the kids you used to bully." The next day, Shin Young-min showed up to school covered in bruises. The whole school was whispering, saying Kim Yan must have jumped him after class. No way he could have won a fair fight, but you and I know the real story, don't we? Shin Yong-men could have easily wiped the floor with him if he'd actually fought back. But Mongjin Construction's power had made Yan untouchable, and now that power was his cage. If he lets Yan go, the Golden Circle will ruin him. Better to be expelled with a record than lose everything. Losing it, Shin Yong-men just slammed his head straight into his desk in pure frustration. He should have never taken that job, never touched that money. Now all he could do was pray that Kim Yan would somehow mess up the next test. Even a tiny drop in his grades would buy him some time. Meanwhile, Kim Yan was just waiting. Waiting for midterms. When I get those overwhelmingly perfect scores, all this hidden tension will finally erupt. Shin Yong-men, desperate for a way out, the Golden Circle, forced to finish their mission. And the client who started this whole mess, when all of them finally snap at once. That's when I'll get exactly what I want. It might be dirty, using the principle and Mongjin Construction's power. But as long as it gets me what I want in the end, it's worth it. And let me tell you, what happens next is a masterclass in revenge. The fortress he's built with violence has given him a peace of mind he's never known. But at the same time, he's also working hard to get better at fighting. His skills were insane. Young Dutch was seriously impressed with his pupil. If it weren't for the money situation, he probably would have told him to go pro. Just as Kim Yansung finished his training and was about to leave, a familiar voice called out from the doorway. It was Park Jin-woo, there for a fighting consultation, and stick with me because his arrival changes everything. See, when Park Jin-woo found out Yansung had provoked Chin Young-min, nearly sending them both out a window, he realized Yansung was sending a clear warning to the entire school. If you touch anyone I care about, you'll bring absolute disaster on yourself. Park Jin-woo couldn't understand why Yansung had become so different. He used to just want a good life for his grandmother. But now his only goal was to risk it all just to wipe out the bullies. Still, since Yansung had chosen this path, his best friend wasn't about to abandon him. That's why Park Jin-woo showed up at the gym. Kim Yansung tried to convince the coach to turn him away, even offering to pay the tuition himself, but the coach had already figured out their relationship. In truth, Yansung needed a friend by his side to keep him from going too far. But what he didn't expect was that Park Jin-woo wanted to help Yansung take the bullies down. The coach was floored. Do you think my gym exists just to teach kids how to solve problems with violence? Now watch this. Park Jin-woo tears off his bandage, revealing the ugly bruises on his face. I got these standing up to them. The violence in school isn't as simple as adults think. If Yansung hadn't helped me, I might have died on the bathroom floor. He risked everything to protect me. I'm not giving up on a friend like that. If he's training here, he has a good reason. This is all the money I have. If it isn't enough, I'll work to pay off the rest. The coach slams the table in frustration. He couldn't understand why kids so young were forced to walk such a hard road. Their situation was getting truly dangerous. He wasn't even sure if discouraging them from fighting back was the right thing to do anymore. After a fierce internal debate, the coach finally gave in. Come to the gym tomorrow, but if you can't keep up, I'm kicking you out. As soon as Park Jin-woo walked out of the room, a pair of gloves came flying at him. I know what you're thinking, the coach agreed, so they're a team now, right? Wrong. Yansung says the coach might have agreed, but I haven't. You'll have to prove yourself to me. Even if you end up in hell like I did, you need the will to claw your way back out. Let's see how far that friendship of yours can actually take you. If you get involved, you could be ambushed. You could spend your life in prison. In the end, you'll have nothing. From now on, you're no friend of mine. But Park Jin-woo just smiled. He knew Yansung was trying to scare him off by showing off his newfound strength. But there was something Yansung seemed to have forgotten. His friend was once a professional athlete. If he wasn't confident in his own fighting ability, he never would have showed up in the first place. If it came down to a simple one-on-one brawl, he could have flattened any of those bullies a long time ago. But now, after Yansung's training, things were different. Seizing the moment, Yansung slams Park Jin-woo to the ground and starts raining down punches without mercy. As he hits him, Yansung screams, "Give up," but Park Jin-woo stubbornly refuses to surrender. The blows only get fiercer. Yansung wanted to break his will with sheer force, but then Park Jin-woo stops fighting back. He just starts laughing. Yanung finally gave up. "Why are you going this far? You've already done enough as my friend." But for Park Jin-woo, a single memory was burned into his mind. When he was just a kid, bullies beat him down every single day while his parents just looked the other way. And in that hopeless darkness, Yan's sun showed up. He was a ray of light in a world with no sun. You ask me why? Because none of this was ever your fault. As your friend, I can't just look away. This is my life, and how I live it is my choice. Just then, young Dutch walks over and looks at the two of them. Have either of you ever considered giving up fighting and becoming pro athletes with me? I would stake everything to put you both on the biggest stage. Now, this wasn't just some random idea for Young. He couldn't understand why these two absolute monsters kept getting pushed around by regular people. They were practically unbeatable. Park Jin-woo had explosive kicking power and a natural gift for distance. Kim Yong-sung, on the other hand, a tactical genius, always able to see the perfect move and never, ever missing a single opening. Because of their financial deal, Young hadn't actually planned to bring this up. But seeing that level of talent, he couldn't stop himself. He urged Yansung to drop out of school and dedicate himself completely to training, convinced the kid could become a world champion. But Yan told him he had zero interest in fighting. "Every fight is just pain. I only do it because I have no choice. If you insist on forcing me to compete, then let's just end our deal right now. Please just stay out of my way." As Yansung walked off, Park Jin-woo chased after him. He'd already made up his mind to fight by Yansung's side, no matter what happened, and with no regrets. Yansung then laid out 3 conditions. First, they would train together every single day. Second, if they ever got into a fight they couldn't win, or one that would become a legal problem, Jin-woo had to stay out. Third, Mongjin Construction would pay him a monthly living allowance, with no questions asked. And on top of all that, he had to keep up with his studies. "If there ever comes a day we get out of this hell, I hope you'll live better than anyone." A few weeks later, midterms for the second semester were here. If Yansung didn't ace this round, his whole plan would come crashing down, and trust me, his plan is next level. He didn't just need good grades for revenge. He could have just exposed Golden Circle with evidence, but his real goal was to crush them completely. Golden Circle prided itself on a perfect track record, so he was going to stomp that pride into the dirt and make himself the one problem they could never, ever solve. Although Kim Yan was in a coma for 10 long years, his memories from his school days were perfectly clear after he was reborn. He remembered the answers to every single question. So after the exams, while everyone else was freaking out, he just waited calmly for the results. That's when Ohai, the class beauty, came up and asked why he wasn't checking his answers. Now Ohai wasn't just cute and popular in his past life. She'd actually confessed to him, but he shot her down, saying that romance would only mess with his grades. She then offered to check his answers. Yansung didn't stop her, knowing her popularity would be a useful tool for his revenge. Soon, the entire class was staring because of her shocked reaction. And you and I both know why. He scored perfect marks in every single subject. The very next day, he called his homeroom teacher to meet him up on the rooftop. "Have you ever heard of the Golden Circle?" Kim Yan asks. "Let me show you what it's really all about. And you'll want to stick around to see how this unravels." After Kim Yan gets a perfect score on his midterms, the principal's phone immediately starts blowing up with calls from other parents. They're all demanding to know if the principal gave Kim Yan some kind of special treatment, or if he'd been secretly taking extra classes. Even the homeroom teacher points out that the test was ridiculously hard this time around. He says it should have been impossible for anyone to ace it. But the principal just replies, I have high hopes for him. I can already see Kim Yan becoming the top scorer in the college entrance exams. He'll get into a top-tier university with amazing grades. Our school will finally get the national recognition it deserves. With the backing of Myung Jin Construction and Kim Yan's genius, his lifelong dream is right there. But he has a bad feeling Kim Yan might stir up trouble again, something that could completely destroy their school's reputation. So pay attention, because this is where the scheming begins. He tells the teacher to watch Kim Yan, to make sure he becomes a model student, perfect in every way. Now that your class produced the top student in the school, he says, here's a little bonus for you. Keep up the good work until Kim Yan graduates. After that, I'll make you a core member of the school's leadership. The money-grubbing teacher immediately agrees, saying, you can leave it all to me. Later, Kim Yan calls that same teacher to the rooftop, revealing a secret and giving him a warning. He says, if anything happens to me, you're going down with me. The teacher finally understands the true power of the golden circle. But by this point, he's already trapped in Kim Yan's web. He asks, so what do I do? Should I try to stop Shin Min and his crew from coming after you? But Kim Yan says, no need. Then and now, my request is the same. No matter what I do, you stay out of it. As long as all you adults just pretend nothing has happened, that's all I need. So you'd better get ready. The homeroom teacher feels this immense pressure crashing down on him. Yeah, you and I both know this kid is about to cause some major trouble. At that same moment, Shin Min is getting a brutal beatdown from a golden circle agent. If you can't handle Kim Yan this time, I'll break your arm. This is your last chance. Fueled by pure hatred for Kim Yan, Shin Min gathers his lackeys to plot his revenge. Someone suggests ambushing him after school and breaking his legs. But that would just give Myung Jin Construction an excuse to step in. So they have to make their move on school grounds, where outsiders can't interfere. As long as they make Kim Yan so stressed out that his grades tank, that'll be a win. Then the top dog from the second year comes up with an idea. Instead of going at him one by one, why don't we all jump him together? Everyone knows the principal wants to turn this place into a prestigious academy. He'd never dare punish that many students all at once. Shin Min is instantly sold on the plan. A few days later, trust me, this is where it all goes down. Kim Yan is suddenly surrounded by a huge group. One of them bumps him on purpose, cursing, watch where you're going, asshole. Immediately. Another punk comes up, smacks him on the head and yells, are you blind or just stupid? Then, the whole crowd closes in. Stick with me, we're jumping right into the action. Our guy gets called out, you bumped into someone and didn't even apologize. What's your problem? Without a word, Kim Yanung throws a punch. He'd been wondering why no one had come for him yet, so this was their brilliant plan. He was practically itching for this. Bring it on, only then, he thinks, will I find meaning in trampling your lives. After teaching them a brutal lesson, he spits out a threat. Tell your boss to bring everyone here, now, I'll take all of you on at once. And soon enough, the second-year boss arrived with his gang to face Kim Yanung. Kim Yanung just says, fighting in the classroom doesn't do you any good. How about we move this somewhere teachers rarely go? They ended up at the trash sorting area behind the academic building. Facing so many upperclassmen, Kim Yanung is clearly outmatched. He points at the students watching from above. I assume you guys care about your reputation. A whole gang beating up one person would be humiliating if word got out, right? And here's the brilliant part. Why don't you come at me one at a time, unless you're scared? His taunt worked perfectly. The second strongest bully of the year steps out first. You want one-on-ones. Fine, but once I'm done with you, no one else will be needed. He puts everything he has into that first punch. He expected Kim Yanung to go down immediately. But in a split second, Kim Yanung blocks the attack with his arm. The bully just clenches his fist again. Let's see you dodge this time, but Kim Yanung easily slips away. A sly grin tugging at his lips, then with one sudden heavy punch, he floors the bully. Watching from upstairs, Park Jin-woo can't help but break out in a cold sweat. This lunatic really just knocked out a notorious upperclassman with a single punch. And you and I can guess what's on his mind. Maybe my loss to him wasn't just luck. Just as Park Jin-woo resolves never to cross him again, someone taps him on the shoulder from behind. Park Jin-woo turns, ready to snap. Instead, he takes a fist to the face from none other than Kim Yanung's loyal friend, Kim Se-woo. See, earlier, when Kim Se-woo saw Kim Yanung about to face the second-year bullies alone, he offered to join the fight. But Kim Yanung refused. He explained that if Kim Se-woo got involved, the others would have an excuse to just use their numbers. So Kim Yanung said, "If you really want to help me, go get revenge on Park Jin-woo for me. Prove to me that I'm not fighting this battle alone." Park Jin-woo, absolutely furious, just snaps, "Don't think you can act so cocky just because Kim Yanung has your back. I'd rather mess you up and get transferred than keep living like this." But the next moment, Kim Se-woo kicks him hard in the chest. Park Jin-woo can't help but question his whole existence. Can I not even beat this guy? No way could he lose face in front of so many classmates. He charges at Kim Se-woo like a madman, only to get sent flying by a knee straight to the jaw. Kim Se-woo quickly follows up, lifting his leg high and smashing it down right on Park Jin-woo's face. Meanwhile, Kim Yanung is busy absolutely schooling the second-year boss. The upperclassmen never expected Kim Yanung to be so cunning. Kim Yanung had planned all along to challenge them one-on-one. Now, in front of the entire school, he was beating every single second-year bully. The boss realized his own reputation would be completely stolen. Bazan H. Go stepped forward. "Enough. And here we go, folks, the final boss speaks. Now, I'll be your opponent. Honestly, I respect your strength, but trying to beat us all single-handedly is an insult." Kim Yanung's reply was ice cold. "All right, you and I are about to watch some serious payback." Furious, Ba Young-ho throws a punch, this time. Kim Yan doesn't dodge. He counters with a punch of his own, and the bully strikes again. To his absolute shock, Kim Yan just starts laughing. The two trade blow for blow. Ba Young-ho never expected his opponent to go toe-to-toe with him. Didn't Kim Yan realize the massive difference in their size? Ba Young-ho starts to get tired, but he knows giving up would mean total humiliation. When is this guy going to stop? Kim Yan lands a punch right on his front teeth. The sharp pain makes Ba Young-ho feel dizzy, but Kim Yan doesn't let up. He grabs his opponent's hair. He slams Ba Young-ho's face straight into the ground with everything he's got, seeing him collapse, completely unconscious. The other lackeys were too terrified to move. Kim Yan tells them, "Don't just stand there, go get Shinyang men." Now, when Shinyang men heard that Kim Yan had just demolished all the second years, he ordered his followers to proceed with their plan. Kim Yan had injured so many people. No matter how much the principal liked him, there was no way he could cover this up. Soon, students ran to the office to alert the teachers, while others called the police directly. Not long after, the principal received a call from the Education Bureau, no less. Shinyang men thought that with all this commotion, Kim Yan couldn't possibly avoid punishment. But what he expected and what actually happened, let's just say they're two very different things. After speaking to the Education Bureau, the principal brushes off the incident in just a few words. The teachers dismiss the students' complaints as nonsense. The police even warned them that filing a false report would get them into huge trouble. Shinyang men's plan had completely failed. He curses furiously, "A bunch of scum. How are they even allowed to be teachers? And the cops won't even bother to check. They just call it a false alarm. Fine, I'll take care of Kim Yan myself with my own hands." And then, get this, his phone rings. As soon as he answers, his father's furious voice explodes. "You little bastard, are you trying to pick a fight with someone named Kim Yan? Don't you dare touch him. If you do, our whole family is finished." It turns out Shinyang men's father had racked up a huge amount of high-interest debt. Go Chang Bayam had tracked down the loan company. Claiming Myeongjin Construction had a few small projects coming up, and wanted their company involved. The loan sharks were thrilled at the prospect of working with Myeongjin Construction. Go Changbayam then asked them to hand over Shinyoung Men's father's loan contracts. Shinyoung Men was livid. He knew it had to be Kim Yan, that sly fox threatening his father. Just then another voice came on the line. Hello, Shinyoung Men. This is Go Changbayam. Listen closely. Your house will soon be seized and you'll be left with a mountain of debt. All of that debt will be transferred directly to you. Don't even think about refusing your inheritance. The loan sharks won't let you off. From this moment on, your life is over. Don't say I didn't give you a way out. If you're willing to let Kim Yan beat you to a pulp, and make sure no one notices you're letting him, you might get a break. Shinyoung Men protested, that's so dirty. Go Changbayam snapped back, are you stupid? This is a fight, and let's be real, you and I both know who holds all the cards here. Remember, I always keep my promises. When the students saw Shinyoung Men finally show up, everyone was expecting a good show, and let's just say you and I are about to witness a brutal beatdown. Kim Yan-sun just grinned, so you finally showed up, come on, hit me. Absolutely furious and cornered, Shinyoung Min charges at him without a second thought. But to his shock, Kim Yan just stands there, not even moving an inch. At the very last second, Shinyoung Min yanks his punch back. He remembers Gang Bayam's warning. If you leave so much as a scratch on Kim Yan's face, you're finished. Kim Yan taunts him, you got my call, didn't you? Before landing a clean punch. Right on Shinyoung Min's face. Did he tell you not to lose too? Well, that's not what I want. You've got two choices here. Kneel and beg me like a dog, or bet your entire life on this fight. Hang on to that pride and come at me with everything you've got. Kim Yan already knew his answer. If they were alone, maybe Shinyoung Min could have backed down. Pay attention now, this is the trigger. But with his pride on the line and every classmate watching, there was no choice. He wasn't about to stay rational. Shinyoung Min decides to go all out. Whatever the cost, but Kim Yan, he's done his homework. He'd watched every single one of Shinyoung Min's amateur fight videos, analyzing his moves. He and Young Do-jul found several patterns when Shin gets fired up. He leaves his face wide open, and his counterattack is always a left hook. When his footwork gets bigger, he's trying to end the fight in one blow. He pours all his strength into a single punch, and that's the perfect opening. Kim Yan dodges sideways and lands a massive punch square on his jaw. Total devastation. The students watching couldn't believe their eyes. This was pure dominance. Kim Yan locks his legs around Shinyoung's shoulders, twists his arms back, and pulls up with every ounce of his strength. A sickening snap echoes through the air. Shinyoung's screams fill the campus. The crowd just broke into a cold sweat. Absolutely terrified by the demonic power Kim Yan just displayed. He had just proven his strength to the entire school. Both he and his ally Kim Seo had beaten the bullies into the ground. Still, Seo was worried for his friend. After all, he just snapped Shinyoung Min's arm, but Kim Yan just brushed it off. Don't worry, even though everyone saw it, no one is going to say a word. This world has zero sympathy for the weak. Right then, their teacher walks by. Silently, in his head, he's cursing Kim Yan. This kid is completely insane. How was he supposed to clean up a disaster this big? But for now, he had to help him. Both Myeongjin Construction and the principal were people he could not afford to piss off, so he pulls Shinyoung Min aside. First of all, your arm was broken because you fell. It has nothing to do with Kim Yan. If anyone tries to drag his name through the mud, all your dirty little secrets are going public. Shinyoung Min fires back. How can you even say that? You're a teacher. Shouldn't you be worried about a student's health? The teacher just snarled when I looked the other way for you guys. Did you remember I was a teacher then? I haven't changed, not one bit. So you better listen. You know I always keep my promises. Let that sink in for a second, a teacher protecting a bully. Meanwhile, the local Golden Circle boss, Kang Tu, is getting punished for his failure. He begs for just one more chance, promising he'll succeed, even if it means stabbing Kim Yan himself. The middleman's voice was ice. Don't you get the basic rules of this game? We're here to use school bullying to satisfy the client. That's the whole point. It perfectly hides their identity. That is the golden circle way, if you expose us. Can you even handle the consequences? He threatened. This Kim Yan's kid. He's something sure, but in the end, he's just another nobody. 1 week later. Xinjiang Men barely gets out of the hospital when he gets the news. Kim Yan's message was simple. Tell me who hired you, and I'll let this go. Xinjiang Men couldn't believe it. Hansung's revenge was still going. Kang Taegu sent him just one blunt message. The job is over. Nothing else. A wave of pure desperation washed over Xinjiang Men. If you're gonna punish me, just do it. I can't live in fear like this every single day. He arrives home, only to find the entire place completely trashed. His father sees him and immediately starts laying into him. Didn't I tell you to stay away from that Kim Yan's kid? Now look, our family is finished and it's all your fault. Even if you want to be a thug, you should know your limits. You ruined everything. For the first time, Xinjiang Men felt a deep, genuine fear gripping him. And this is where you realize how a single student can tear a whole family apart. Just then his phone rings. It's Kim Yan's. A moment later, Xinjiang Men is on his knees, begging for his life. I never should have taken that golden circle job. I got way too arrogant, I swear. I want to tell you who hired me, but I'm just a pawn. I really don't know. Please just let me go this one time. I'll even be your lackey if you want. But Kim Yan's just replied, why should I forgive you? I warned you. I told you not to touch anyone close to me, but you let your little goon run wild. You make a mistake, you pay the price. Simple as that. I do believe you, though. You don't know who the client is. The Golden Circle wouldn't trust a nobody like you. Still. Since you're begging so pathetically, I'll give you one chance. Okay, now listen to this offer. From this moment on, your only job is to survive for 1 month. Show me you're sincere, and maybe I'll think about forgiving you, but I won't tell you what's coming for you. You'll just have to find that out for yourself. The next day, the entire class is laughing at Xinjiang Men. What a total disgrace. Showing his face at school after everything, the class started whispering, look at him. Still trying to act like a boss, but the second Xinjiang Men glared at them, they all went dead silent, still terrified of him. If this was all Kim Yan's had planned. Xinjiang Men figured he could handle it for a month, no problem. After that, he'd settle the score and get his reputation back. Then he saw him. Even the class coward was staring him down. He thought, wow, how far I've fallen. Even a loser like Hang Hung Hun dares to look me in the eye now. Xinjiang Men forced himself to stay calm, just endure it, but Hang walks right up to him and dumps an entire carton of milk right over his head. Xinjiang Men was about to snap. But Hang just said, you know Kim Yan's right. He told us we could do this to you. So how does it feel? A few days before, Kim Yan's had told his classmates every single horrible thing Xinjiang Men had done to him over the years. If I hadn't fought back, I wouldn't be standing here today. So from now on, you and I are going to punish him for the next month. You can bully him however you want. Shiny young Min, he won't fight back. Of course, I'm not forcing any of you. If none of you join in, then Shiny young Min graduates, no problem, smooth sailing. But the scars he gave you, you'll carry those for the rest of your lives. Remember, in this world, nobody can fight your battles for you. And those words struck something deep inside Han Mong-hoon. Just making eye contact with Shiny young Min once was enough to get him targeted. At school, he was nothing more than a toy for everyone else's sick amusement. He always told himself he'd be free after graduation. But suddenly he wondered, would Shiny young Min even remember him? Would he feel even a single second of guilt? The answer was painfully obvious. Of course not. Trying to patch the holes in his heart, Han Mong-hoon realized he had to be the one to act. And in that moment, he finally bought into what Kim Yan was selling. Sure enough, Shin Young-min didn't dare fight back. Han Yong-hun just sneered, "Idiot, how does it feel to be beaten by someone like me?" "Feels pretty damn good from where I'm standing." He spits right into shiny Young-min's bowl. "Remember this, you used to do this to me all the time. Remember what you said." "I'll never forget it. You made me eat every single bite, you monster." And with Han Mong-hoon leading the charge, you and I are about to watch the floodgates open. More classmates started taking their own revenge. Some just mocked him, throwing his old insults right back. Others tripped him at the bathroom door, just like he did to them. He'd barely left the restroom when someone cracked him with a bottle. All the students he'd ever bullied joined forces, surrounding him. He was a cornered rat, and not a single person felt sorry for him. He desperately wanted to lash out to destroy them all. But the memory of Kim Yoon-sung's terrifying gaze sent a cold chill right down his spine. Just endure it, he told himself. 1 month, that's it. Just wait until Kim Yun finally lets me go. Meanwhile, Kim Yun was still hunting for the real mastermind behind this whole mess. He'd narrowed it down to 4 suspects, but he couldn't pinpoint the actual culprit just yet. He told himself not to rush things. He had to focus on the target right in front of him. To Kim Yun, the kids kicking Shin Young-min and the teachers pretending not to see it were all exactly the same. And thanks to their actions, his next plan was ready to kick off. "Okay, I know what you're thinking. A text message. This is where it gets crazy." The message read, "As long as you follow my instructions, you'll never be bullied again." He agreed immediately, but Kim Yun just sneered, "How could you be so naive?" That night, Shin Young-min showed up at a convenience store. After a long internal battle, he pulled on a mask and a hat, and the clerk inside. None other than Park Min-chul, the old-school bully who tormented Kim Yoon-sung and eventually dropped out of school. Shin Young-min walked in, no words needed. He grabbed Park Min-chul by the hair and slammed his head right down onto the counter. Park Min-chul nervously stammered, "Are you trying to rob me or something?" Shin Young-min ignored him and just punched him again, and in that moment, Park Min-chul realized this guy looked familiar. Even with the mask, that hair, those eyes. It was obviously Shiny Young-min, the other 2 guys who dropped out after bullying Kim Yoon-sung. They got beaten up by him too. They had no clue why Shin Young-min was suddenly coming after them now. One of them tried to call the cops, but Park Min-chul stopped him. "This guy is crazy. Trust me, if we provoke him, it'll only get worse. More trouble, let's just call it bad luck. If we see him again, we pretend we don't know him." Just then, a familiar voice cut through the silence. Well, look what we have here, and I bet you know exactly who did this to you yesterday." Park Min-chul demanded, "Why are you doing this to us?" "We never did a thing to you," Shin Young-min just smirked, "because Kim Yoon-seong has me on a leash. He told me if I make you guys live in hell for a month, he'll let me off. You and I both know what that means, right?" And with that, he charged. "Sorry guys, if you don't go to hell then I have to." As he beat them down, he snarled, "Don't blame me for this. You brought this on yourselves," but one of them shot back. "Why are we the ones paying for it?" That just sent Shin Young-min into a blind rage. "You still don't get what you did wrong. If you just handled him back then, I wouldn't be the one getting tormented right now, and you dare fight back. Have you forgotten who I am? I'm Shin Young-min, the king of this school. Now watch this, because if I can't have a good life, then nobody does." Just as it looked like he was about to kill them, Park Min-chul pushed to the edge, grabbed a knife and stabbed him from behind. "You've gone too far. We already dropped out and got jobs because of you. Why won't you leave us alone?" And in that moment, Shin Young-min finally understood Kim Yoon-seong's real plan. He wanted them to destroy each other, to tear themselves apart without him lifting a finger. The next day, news that Shin Young-min had been stabbed spread like wildfire through the school. What shocked everyone was that Park Min-chul was the one who did it. But get this, both of them admitted to everything. They were actually begging to be sent to jail as fast as possible. They said they never wanted to set foot in this city again. But Kim Yoon-seong wasn't finished. He told Go Chang-bi, when those 4 get out of prison, make sure they go right back in. I don't want them to have a single normal day in this world. Go Changbi was floored. This kid was scarier than him. He thought, I never want to be your enemy. He'd been working at the bottom for a month, just like Kim Yunseong said. But he hadn't seen any results yet. I don't have the patience to climb the ladder step by step. Kim Yunseong just told him to hang in there a little longer. Just do exactly as I say. See, back when Kim Yunseong was out of commission, the real estate industry was blowing up. But then a fatal accident happened at one of Myeongjin construction sites. A worker was hit by falling rebar. People wanted to call the police and an ambulance, but the foreman stopped them. He didn't want any delays messing with the project's schedule. So he insisted on reporting it up the chain first. It wasn't until 2 hours later that the worker was finally taken to the hospital. By the time his son got there, his father was already gone. The company refused to call it a workplace injury or pay out any compensation. The whole thing was a massive blow to Myeongjin Construction's reputation. At that exact time, Go Changbi was wandering around that very site, not knowing he was about to hit a turning point in his life. Trust me, we need to see what he discovers here. He wanted to hit a bar, but he knew Kim Yunseong wouldn't send him here for no reason. Watching how decisively Kim Yunseong dealt with all those school bullies, Go Changbi pictured his own brother, Go Chung-seok, suffering the same fate. Suddenly, a loud crash. Screams echoed outside. Gang Baeum rushed out to see what was happening. There had been a collapse during a concrete pour, and you're about to see a choice between profits and people. At least 5 or 6 people are trapped, the foreman said, but don't worry. I'll call headquarters, and we'll keep this quiet so word doesn't leak out. Hearing this, Gang Baeum grabbed him by the collar. Do you have any idea how serious this is? Deep down, Gang Baeum was shaken. He remembered Kim Yoon-sung's words. If a major accident ever happens on your watch, forget short-term losses. The workers' lives come first, so Gang Baeum ordered him to call an ambulance immediately. But the foreman argued back. If news gets out, the delays and losses will be huge. Who's going to cover that? Now here's where we see what our guy is made of. Gang Baeum shot back, I'm in charge now. Get every rescue team here. Save those workers. I will take full responsibility for all the consequences. He then demanded to know how the accident even happened. A worker in a white helmet stepped up to explain. To speed things up, the crew had pulled out the supports before the concrete had fully cured. Because of that, the rebar never bonded, causing the collapse. If we'd just waited for it to set properly, this never would have happened. Gang Baeum asked him, so why are you telling me this? The worker shot back, I want to know if you even care. Will you actually take responsibility for this? Gang Baeum's answer shocked him. What could possibly be more important than a person's life? Even if this building causes us problems later, the only thing that matters now is saving people. If you have time to talk, use that time to get the rescue team on the phone. Thanks to his swift action, most of the construction workers were rescued alive. However, the company assistant was extremely worried. Several online news sites had already picked up the story, reporting on the accident with a negative spin. You and I know the real storm is just beginning. Headquarters couldn't stop the news from spreading, but Gang Baeum seemed completely unconcerned. So what? The assistant stared at him, stunned. Didn't you have a plan in place when you decided to save everyone? A plan? Gang Baeum was clueless. What plan? I just called the rescue teams because I didn't want anyone to die. Just then, his father started calling. The assistant asked why he wasn't picking up. Gang Baeum just brushed it off. Don't worry about it. Once the calls from his father finally stopped, Gang Baeum immediately contacted Kim Yoon-sung, asking what he should do next. But when he got home, his younger brother Go Chang-guk laid into him. How could you act on your own without reporting this to your superiors? Human lives are important, yeah, but you've destroyed our company's reputation. Did you even consider the cost? If we can't sell these properties down the line, are you going to take responsibility for that? His father chimed in. Because you called the rescue, the journalists got there right away. So what's your plan to handle this mess? Earlier, Kim Hunsung had told him on the phone, your father is obsessed with construction quality. But now he's facing a major safety accident. How will he react? He'll face the problem head-on and solve it. You need to do the same. At that moment, Gang Bayam gave them a shocking answer. Let's tear down the entire project and start over. His father scolded him harshly. You think banks lend money for free? And trust me, with interest piling up every day, that's not even counting all the money we've already lost. Let's be real, most developers only care about profit, but Go Chung Bei asks, is that really necessary? He fires back, it'll cost us a fortune, but our reputation is what matters most. Lately, the news has been blowing up with shoddy construction scandals. Real estate companies are making bank, but their reputations are in the gutter. If we just slap a patch on the collapsed building, nobody will ever buy it. Go Chang-seuk just sneers, and whose fault was that in the first place? Even so, that's still a smaller loss than completely rebuilding. You're wrong, Go Chang Bayam says. We can't just chase the money. We need to rebuild our name by delivering top-tier properties. Right now, only one building has collapsed, so if we admit our mistake and show everyone we're dead serious about quality, our reputation will bounce back. This will become the new foundation for Myung Jin Construction. Go Changyo just mocks him. What are you, some kind of idealist? This company is about profit. But just then, their father cracks a satisfied smile. My eldest son, he's finally woken up, and you know what bugs me most about this whole mess? Isn't that the news got out, it's that we made such a basic, disgraceful mistake. An amateur error like that just destroys our reputation. Houses are meant for people. Safety is the #1 priority. Chung Bei, you did good this time. I really thought you'd become some useless playboy, but you're starting to remind me of myself. Keep this up, and I might just be able to entrust the family business to you. Hearing that, Gonggok practically grinds his teeth into dust. Afterwards, Go Chang Bei turns to Kim Yan for some advice. His dad told him to keep up the good work, but honestly, Bayam had no idea what to do next. Kim Yan lays it out for him. First, you take care of the accident victims. The first group, the people who already bought homes, promise them you'll cover their mortgage interest. And then you lower the final sale price. Just like that, their complaints will disappear. Okay, let's talk about the second group, the injured workers. You approach them with total sincerity. Take care of every single one of their needs. You make them feel like being a Myung Jin worker is something to be genuinely proud of, following this playbook perfectly. Gong Bayam not only gives them huge compensation packages, but he also promises to give them important positions at headquarters as soon as they've recovered. The workers' families were moved to tears by the gesture. And through all this, you and I are watching Gong Bayam learn a hell of a lot. He tells his assistant, I used to see this company as nothing but a money-making machine. My only goal was to finish buildings and sell them off as fast as possible. But now I see how many people pour everything they have into this job to support their families. They spend their entire life savings to buy one of our homes. I just took it all for granted. From now on, I can't live that way anymore. His assistant was floored. He'd never expected the young master to change this much. It actually felt a little weird. Suddenly someone shouts, hey, why are you smoking in here? Put that out right now. And just like that, Go Chang Bei snaps right back to his old self. Well, there goes my serious mood. Get lost before I decide to smash up this entire hospital. Thanks to Kim Yan's guidance, Gong Bayam not only got his father's approval, but he also earned the heartfelt gratitude of the workers. For a guy who had always been so arrogant and cocky, all this praise was kinda new. Especially when one of the workers' families brought him homemade snacks as a thank you. It was an awkward meal, but he was forcing it down when a subordinate rushed in. Sir, you have visitors. It's a TV crew and they're saying. Headquarters already gave them the green light. Bayam just sighed. then show them around. Let them film what they need, but the man quickly added, they want to interview you. And just like that, Bayam's stomach drops. Did he do something wrong? We're about to find out. At that very moment, Bayam's father was glued to the TV, watching a report on Mong Jin. The company's decision to completely rebuild the complex sent shockwaves through the industry. Yes, it meant taking a massive financial hit, but it also proved their absolute commitment to quality. Then, his own son's interview came on the screen. The reporter praised him, saying human lives should always matter more than money. You've taken full responsibility for the accident, ordering a complete rebuild. What made you make such a bold decision? Bayam calmly answered, I was simply following my father's teachings. He always told us from a young age that our work isn't just about profit, but about building a family business. A legacy that has to be carried on for a lifetime. Just then, his father's phone rang. On the other end, an acquaintance was gushing, praising him for raising such an outstanding son. In fact, he was so impressed, he wanted to introduce his own daughter to Bayam. Seconds later, a marriage agency called, hoping to set up meetings with the daughters of powerful judges and prosecutors, but his father refused. He remembered reaching out to them before, only to have them turn him down flat. He tells his secretary, block all those matchmaking calls, and yeah, you and I know how good that felt. He then asked about the company's status. She replied that countless businesses and agencies were now lining up, desperate to sign contracts with them. We're talking office buildings for S Group, 3,000 units in Gangnam, and a new city project. Even Day City called, wanting to finalize that 5,000-unit deal. They're hoping to announce the full construction schedule for the residential project before next year. This was the exact opportunity the chairman had been waiting for. Not long after, Gang Bayam himself received some absolutely stunning news. The chairman was appointing him as an executive director of Mong Jin Construction. And just like that, every single eye in the room was on him, with respect. Let that sink in. These were the same people who, just yesterday, saw him as nothing but a spoiled brat. Even worse, most of them had always been loyal supporters of his brother, Jishio. His father then told him to get involved in the major Dasan City project. It's a little early, he said, but you'll learn a lot. Go Chang Bayam bowed deeply. I look forward to working with everyone. Back at the school, Kim Hunsung heard the news. And it left him feeling uneasy. Things were moving way faster than he ever expected. Bayam's involvement in that project was supposed to happen much, much later. The plan was for Bayam to use this accident to slowly secure his position. Instead, Chairman Gayong Jin had immediately promoted him to executive director. This was a development Kim Hunsung never saw coming, catching him completely off guard. He realized he'd now have to predict every single variable with even greater precision. He couldn't afford one mistake, and trust me, right on cue, things get complicated. A luxury car suddenly pulls onto the school grounds. Hunsung recognizes it. It's Bayam's. But why was he here? He hadn't said a single word about this in his messages. Gang Bayam walks straight to the principal's office, announcing, I'm here too. Thank you for looking after my brother, he says, as the principal flashes his most sincere smile. I was only doing my duty as an educator, Go Chun-bi replies. Even so, I'd like to properly show my appreciation, as they say. One good turn deserves another, so I'm giving your school a brand new gymnasium. The latest model, complete with an indoor swimming pool. The principal is overjoyed. A state-of-the-art gym was the ultimate symbol of a top-tier school. He immediately starts showering Go Chun-bi with praise, promising the school will unconditionally support Kim Hunsung. Then Go Chun-bi cuts in. Could you call someone else in for me? I mean Kim Hunsung's homeroom teacher. Lately, some nasty rumors had been spreading. People were saying the teacher took bribes, all because he publicly disciplined Shin Youngmin. Go Chun-bi looks him in the eye. Don't worry about what others say. You chose to stand with me, so I'll make sure you rise through the ranks right here. I hear you like to unwind at the bar after work. Well, I've already made some arrangements. He's set things up with the biggest club in the entire city. Bring your friends. The entire tab is on my account. I also prepared a case of vitamin drinks for you. A case that happens to be stuffed with cash. Don't forget to take it home with you. From now on, remember, the one backing you isn't just some rich parent. It's the most powerful successor in all of Dasan City. And once everything was settled, Go Chun-bi met Kim Yoon-sung face to face. If you want to help me become chairman, you're going to need my power sooner or later. So let's work together. Let's give each other all the support we can. If you need anything at all right now, just say the word. I'll make it happen for you. Kim Yoon-sung doesn't hold back, asking directly, how much money are you willing to spend for me? Not long after, the homeroom teacher strolls into class to announce some major news. Myeongjin Construction had just invested a huge sum of money in the school. And as a result, the school was awarding a 10 million won scholarship fund. Any student who paid attention and showed real potential would be eligible to receive a cut. The moment the students heard 10 million won, their faces lit up with greedy anticipation. But here's the thing you and I have been waiting for. The teacher announces the first recipient is Kim Yoon-sung. A wave of disappointment just washes over the entire room. Everyone in class knew that Yoon-sung's guardian was the eldest son of Myeongjin Construction. Many of the students started wondering why they even bothered with all the theatrics. They might as well have just handed him the cash directly, and that feeling only got stronger. When the teacher then named Kim Si-woo as the second recipient. Now everyone was completely convinced there was something shady going on here. Okay, sure, Kim Yoon-sung had Myeongjin Construction behind him, and he did top the midterms. But Kim Si-woo, what did he have to offer? How did he deserve a scholarship? Was it just because he was Yoon-sung's friend? And just like that, the rumors began to swirl. Whispers about Kim Yoon-sung's real connection to Myeongjin Construction started flying. Could he be the chairman's illegitimate son? The student who said it instantly turned pale. He tries to slip away quietly, only to find Kim Yoon-sung waiting for him just around the corner. He had overheard every single word. Yoon-sung just crooked a finger, beckoning him over. The student, who turns out to be Jo-jin, the school's biggest gossip, breaks out in a cold sweat. He's already imagining the absolute worst, but Yoon-sung doesn't even beat him up. Instead, Yoon-sung calmly says to Jo-jin, no need to be scared. As long as you do me a favor, you'll be safe. And trust me, this favor is going to be good. Yes. The scholarship selection is unfair, but you should know there's no limit on how many people get it. Anyone can win, even someone with grades as terrible as yours. So I want you to spread this to every single student and add one more detail. The next day, the school was buzzing with rumors. They said the Myeongjin Construction Scholarship was just a way to reward people close to Kim Yoon-sung. The new gossip. Only Kim Se-woo had ever stood up for him, and that's exactly why he got the scholarship. But here's the twist, there was no limit to the number of winners. Anyone who sided with Kim Yoon-sung could get one too. Word was, he planned to use the school to wipe out every bully in Decent City. And the rumors said he would welcome any student who'd help him, no matter their past. Most students just blew it off as crazy gossip. But now pay attention, because the second-year boss, Byung-ho, took it dead seriously. He was already dreaming about that scholarship money. If Kim Yoon-sung needed some muscle, Byung-ho was ready to be that guy. In secret, Byung-ho went straight to Jo-jin to get the real story. Jo told him, I'm only telling this to you. Kim Yoon-sung is going to turn this school into his kingdom. Then use it as a base to crush all the other schools around here. If someone can prove their strength and loyalty right now, Kim Yoon-sung will definitely reward them. Byung-ho knew a ton of cash was on the line. But he worried Kim Yoon-sung would never accept someone who once stood against him. Still, he decided to take the chance. The money was just too good to ignore. He nervously walked up to Kim Yoon-sung. Do you have a moment? Yoon-sung agreed immediately, which only made Byung-ho's heart pound even harder. Byung-ho quickly apologized for everything that happened before, but Yoon-sung just cut him off, telling him to get to the point. Byung-ho laid it all out. He desperately needed the money. If you want someone strong and obedient, why not pick me? I swear I won't let you down. Kim Yoon-sung agreed, but on one condition. There would be a test first. Shortly after, Byung-ho called a meeting with all the third-year bullies. They thought he was trying to take over Shin Youngman's old spot as boss and were ready to teach him a lesson. But okay, check this out. When Byung-ho showed up, his face was swollen like a pig's head. He told them, "Listen up, you third years. From this day on, I work for Kim Yoon-sung. If anyone here has a problem with that, raise your hand. But if you do, I'll beat you so bad you won't be able to feed yourself." He explained what he needs right now is a loyal dog. You do what he says, and you take whatever reward he gives you. It hurt, sure, but when he saw that cash hit his bank account, it was all worth it. Kim Yoon-sung promised him, "As my dog, you'll get another scholarship tomorrow. Stay loyal and I'll keep you rich. But if you ever betray your master, I will personally tear you to pieces." Byung-ho had to wonder if he'd lost every last shred of his dignity. He was being treated like a dog, but he had no other choice. 5 million won was more cash than he could ever make with his fists in his entire life. Next, Byung-ho gathered all the third-year bullies one more time. He announced that from now on, they all followed Kim Yoon-sung. The third years weren't buying it, so Byung-ho used his fists to persuade them. Don't think I was obedient because I was scared of you guys. The only reason was because of that monster, Shin Youngman. Now that he's out of the picture, you better rethink your place in this school. And just like that, you and I just saw our main character become the new king. God, you do what he says. Anyone who resists, I'll send them to hell myself. And one more thing, sucking up to Kim Yun really does get you a scholarship. So from now on, you better worship our God, no questions asked. He's never cheap with his rewards. The next day, Park Jin-woo hears about this. He's convinced Byung-ho has completely lost his mind. First, he insults Kim Yoon-sung, and now he's his loyal puppy. There's no way Kim Yun is just handing out that much cash. That's when he spots a huge crowd of students gathered around the school bulletin board. And to his absolute shock, it announces Byung-ho as a scholarship winner. Yeah, you and I just saw proof. Park Jin-woo breaks out in a cold sweat. What in the world is Kim Yoon-sung's connection to Mongjin Construction? It makes sense for Byung-ho, but why did that loudmouth Jojin get a scholarship too? Jojin just tells him, "I did what Kim Yun wanted, and I got paid." Let me give you some advice, be careful. Don't ever get on Kim Yoon-sung's bad side, or you'll end up just like Shin Youngman. Park Jin-woo can't believe it. Kim Yun is actually turning their high school into his own personal kingdom. So much for a peaceful school life. With the situation changing so fast, the Golden Circle's client is pissed. "I heard Golden Circle was supposed to be the best. That's why I hired you guys. If you can't even get rid of Kim Yoon-sung, I'm telling everyone you're all talk." The middleman just replies with confidence, "Don't you worry. This time we are guaranteed to succeed, and here's where it gets serious." The Golden Circle has dispatched their assassin, Cho Tae-jun, to take him down. At first, the principal was against accepting the transfer student. But the city's own education director personally requested it. Choi Tae-jun claimed the director was a friend of his father's. But the principal didn't buy that excuse for a single second. This kind of forced transfer would get them in huge trouble if reported, so why risk it all? Was this kid really a mercenary from the Golden Circle? The principal decides, even if he is, I won't let him run wild in my school. He then warns Cho Tae-jun, Channel High is a top-tier school. Break the rules, and I don't care who your father knows. I will not go easy on you, but Kai Tae-jun just sneers at the threat. When he gets to his new class, he immediately runs into an old face, Park Jin-woo. 6 months ago, when Cho Tae-jun first joined the Golden Circle, he tried to make some connections. Back then, he just dismissed Park Jin-woo as totally useless, but now he realizes he can use him to get intel on the school. Park Jin-woo says the school isn't anything special, but he warns Cho Tae-jun about one thing. There's this guy Kim Yoon-sung, whatever you do, don't mess with him. He's not just a good fighter, he's got connections that are off the charts. Choi Tae-jun just mocks him. I thought you were the boss around here. Why are you so terrified of this kid? Park Jin-woo awkwardly replies, just trust me. Stay away from him. The Golden Circle gave Cho Tae-jun one mission. Force Kim Yoon-sung to drop out of school within 6 months. To Kai Tae-jun, this sounds easy. All he has to do is bully Kim Yoon-sung until school life becomes a living nightmare. And you and I both know this plan is about to fail spectacularly. Him 6 months to take him down. Nah, he figured 1 month would be plenty. And his confidence wasn't just talk. In the Golden Circle, an S rank was nearly impossible to get. So you understand, an A rank is already the top 1%. Even being a B rank meant you were way above the national average. And this guy, Cho Tae-jun, had already hit B rank as a first year. He tells Park Jin-woo to take him to Hansung's classroom. But of course, Kim Yoon-sung just so happens to be there. Park Jin-woo instantly panics. And watch this, Cho Tae-jun immediately tries starting beef. Hey you, what are you looking at? Park Jin-woo's face drains of all color. Kim Yoon-sung just calmly replies, that's a dumb question. I wasn't even looking at you. Are you just trying to pick a fight with me? You better think real hard about whether you can handle what comes next. Before Cho Tae-jun can even retort, someone decks him. Cho Tae-jun is completely stunned. It was Park Jin-woo, who was now kneeling on the floor, begging for his life. I didn't mean anything by bringing him here. He's the one who started it. Please, just let me go this one time. Cho Tae-jun is completely baffled. What the hell is wrong with this guy? You see, ever since Baeanho publicly pledged his loyalty to Kim Yoon-sung, the whole vibe at Chunil High had changed. Okay, you need to understand this part. Now, if anyone even whispers smack about Kim Yoon-sung, Baeanho's crew immediately shows up for a friendly chat, and surprisingly, the students didn't resent it. In fact, they actually liked this new order. After all, back when Shin Young-min ran the school, it was pure chaos and bullying everywhere you looked. But ever since Baeanho got his scholarship and became the school's unofficial guard, all the bullies preying on the weak were finally getting what they deserved. The school was experiencing a peace it hadn't felt in years. And now Cho Tae-jun walks in, openly challenging the new king of that peace. Park Jin-woo knew this meant trouble, which is why he frantically dropped to his knees, begging Kim Yoon-sung for mercy. Cho Tae-jun just stares at him, confused. I thought we were friends and you just backstabbed me, but Park Jin-woo just snaps back, threatening him. You're just a transfer student. How dare you mess with Yoon-sung? But when it came to a fight, Park Jin-woo stood no chance. Cho Tae-jun just smirks. Did you forget who I am? I took on an entire wrestling team by myself and got scouted by the Golden Circle before I even graduated. You go down in 3 punches. You dare to mess with me. Meanwhile, Kim Yoon-sung watches the whole thing with a smile. Now this is getting entertaining. Cho Tae-jun couldn't believe the arrogance and sneered. You're not walking out of this school alive. But just then the bell rings. All Cho Tae-jun can do is toss out a threat. Don't run after school. I hold grudges. Once inside, however, he realizes the atmosphere is strange. Students are shooting him dirty looks from every direction. No one will talk to him during group work. Even when the teacher tries to assign groups, everyone objects. He is completely baffled by what's going on in their heads. After class, he corners a kid with glasses who looks like an easy target. He plans to make an example out of him. But before he gets the chance, Baeanho bursts in with his entire crew. Where's the transfer student? Show your face. Trust me, we all know what's about to happen. At Chunil, nobody lays a hand on Kim Yoon-sung. Cho Tae-jun finally loses it. What is with these people? Okay, let's dive in. Has the entire school been brainwashed? Why is everyone protecting Yoon-sung? Ban-ho charges in, swinging wildly. But Cho Tae-jun knocks him back with a single, sharp elbow strike. Incredibly, Ban-ho just bounces right back like some kind of unkillable cockroach. Now Cho Tae-jun is seriously pissed off. He just doesn't get it. Why is everyone defending this Kim Yoon-sung kid? Even after that heavy blow, Bon-ho refuses to back down. Cho Tae-jun wonders if he missed. Fine then, have another. He grabs Bon-ho's head and slams it into a desk, finally knocking him out cold. He figures this will be a warning to all the others, but get this, the onlookers all rush him at the same time. Choi Tae-jun is completely speechless. Isn't this supposed to be a one-on-one fight? But no, these guys are shamelessly ganging up on him, total cowards. Even so, it doesn't matter. But then there are sneak attacks coming from behind him, too. Cho Tae-jun roars. You'd rather lose all your dignity than lose one fight, so is it just you left? The second he says that, 3 more guys jump right in. Someone shouts he took out Bon-ho. We have to swarm him or we're all screwed. Cho Tae-jun just sneers. Bring it on, I'll take every single one of you. And just then, Bon-ho gets back up once again. Choi tells him just stay down. Why are you so loyal to a first year? Bon-ho fires back, don't talk to me about loyalty. That's not what this is. See, after beating up the third-year bullies, he had received a very generous cash bonus from Hunsung that night. Now I know what you're thinking, and yeah, it's all about the money. The reward for beating these Golden Circle guys will probably be even bigger. Bon-ho rallies the troops, shouting, this guy's even scarier than Shin Yongmin. We might not win, but we can't back down. If we do, Hunsung will be disappointed in us. But really, just being Hunsung's punching bag had already made him 5 million won, plus a 10 million won scholarship, and another million won in spending money. With that kind of cash flow, how could he ever give up on Hunsung? So Bon-ho leads 10 second years into the brawl. But they are still no match for Cho Tae-jun. This whole mess just makes him hate the school even more. This place isn't a school, it's a cult. Normally, when you beat someone, the fight's over. But these guys are like absolute maniacs who never give up. If any more psychos like this show up, he'll actually be in deep trouble. Cho Tae-jun realizes this kid has turned the entire school into his personal fortress. If that's the case, I'll just have to go all out and smash right through it. All I have to do is break one of Hunsung's arms, and the middleman can report back a success. But as soon as Choi Tae-jun steps out of the classroom, someone bumps into him on purpose. It's none other than Kim Hunsung's own homeroom teacher. Looks like he's planning to handle this personally. And trust me, this is where things take a sharp turn. Turns out, the teacher had already been filled in by Park Jinwoo. He had asked, so did Kim Hunsung say what to do next? And Park Jinwoo replied, he said to handle it however we think is best. That put the teacher in a tough spot, but either way, he couldn't let Cho Tae-jun walk. He thought, this is my chance to prove my worth. So he decides to teach Cho Tae-jun a lesson he will never, ever forget. He calls the kid into the office and smacks him right across the face. Cho Tae-jun is absolutely furious. What gives you the right? You think teachers can just hit anyone they want. You'll never. Teach again and I'll get you fired, the homeroom teacher sneers. Stick with me, this school is completely unhinged. You really don't get it, do you? On your first day, you sent classmates to the hospital, beat up an upperclassman, and scared your entire class out of their minds. And now you threaten a teacher. Go ahead, call that influential friend of your father's. Have him sue me if you have the guts. You think you can get me fired? Dream on. I've seen plenty of punks like you. No matter what, nobody is going to believe you. No one in this office will testify for you. Without evidence, I can do whatever I want. He lands a punch. This is for Park Jinwoo, this one for Bass Young-ho. And this slap is for one of the second years. That night, Choi calls the middleman to vent. Everyone at Chunil High is crazy. The teachers and the students are all insane. I can't take this all by myself. The middleman on the other end is floored. Now watch closely. This is their first real move against the system. His own neck is on the line, so he tells Choi to lay low while he devises a solution. Then the middleman rushes downtown to meet Moon Cheng-ho, the director of the Education Bureau. He complains that the principal is ignoring him completely, hoping that some pressure from the higher-ups will finally get things moving. Moon Chang-ho immediately calls the Daesan education supervisor. I heard a teacher at Chunil is giving a certain student some special attention. Look into it. But the supervisor fires back coldly. Why is a city official meddling in Daesan's business? Don't you know you're overstepping? Moon Chang-ho shoots back. Don't think for a second I don't know about the skeletons in your education system. If you refuse to cooperate, I will blow the whistle on everything. That's when the Daesan supervisor plays his trump card. You know about Golden Circle, right? If you really want to fight this, are you sure you'll get out unharmed? Don't push it. If we fall, it won't end well for you either. It turns out the Daesan supervisor is the principal's own brother. Even he was a little worried. After all, Golden Circle was no small matter. The supervisor admits, honestly, I'm afraid neither of us can escape punishment. But the principal just reassures him, don't worry about a thing. The real opportunity here is Myeongjin Construction's successor, Go Chongbei. As for the corruption, don't worry about being exposed. The kid we're protecting is smarter than you think. Your position is totally safe. The very next day, Choi Tae-jun experiences for the first time what it means to be ostracized. When the class went to PE, no one told him. Whispers follow him down the halls. Choi finally loses his temper. He immediately texts his crew back in the city, telling them to get their butts to Daesan. He also reaches out to other schools, planning to pressure Chunil from all sides and completely cut off Kim Young-sung. That day at lunch, as Choi is eating, Kim Yansung sits down right across from him. Choi thinks to himself, maybe I should just deal with this punk right now. Yansung says, I heard the Daesan education supervisor gave you some trouble. Choi sneers, so you're the king of this tiny little pond. Outside of here, you're nothing. Suddenly, a hand slams Choi's face straight into his lunch tray. If you know I'm the king here, then who gave you the guts to act up on my turf? Choi is then dragged off to a secluded corner, yelling, you need a whole gang just to win. Aren't you embarrassed? Yanung stays completely calm. You're strong. After all, you are a B-rank assassin, and trust me, that one sentence changes absolutely everything. Fair and square, but right now I can't, so I'll just close that gap. Get him. At Yansong's command, his lackeys swarm Choi Tae-jun, but Park Jinwoo just yells, move over. Let me handle this. Choi's back is about to give out. Before he can even react, Bae Eun-ho's fists are already flying. No matter how tough Choi Tae-jun is, he can't fight off a whole mob. He tries to focus on a single target, but suddenly Yansong locks his arm into a vicious cross-arm hold. If you only had one arm left, I might be able to win, right? There's a sickening crack, and Choi screams in pure agony. You're insane, Yansong just grabs him. You have two choices. One, you finish the Golden Circle assignment like you planned. But I'll take your other arm and make school a living hell for you. Or two, you become my guy, pretend you completed their mission, and act as my spy. Of course, Choi isn't about to give in that easily. You want me to betray Golden Circle. In your dreams, now pay attention, because this is where it gets crazy. Yansong turns to Bae Seon-ho. If I gave you 100 million, would you stab him? If you won't, I'll find someone else. I'm not talking about killing him. I'll call an ambulance right away. Just as long as he's left with a nice little injury, that's enough. The entire atmosphere freezes. Everyone is in total shock as Yansong's voice turns ice cold. Think about this. How many years of part-time jobs would it take you to save up 100 million? I can give you that right now in just 3 seconds. Besides, we're just students. If anything happens, we'll say it was a prank that went too far. Nobody in Daeung is going to believe his side of the story. Finally, Bae Seon-ho is tempted. Didn't you say you'd reward me if I did what you asked? Yansong just replies coolly, it's just business. Bae nods, hold him down so I don't stab the wrong spot. Just as things are about to get deadly serious, Choi Tae-jun completely panics. I'll take the second option. Yansong stops Bae Eun-ho just in time. You made a good choice. I'll reward you. You're off the hook for today. Then Yansong rattles off Choi Taejan's home address and casually mentions his little sister. And let me tell you, this moment changes everything. I'm much more ruthless than you think. If anyone blocks my path, I'll spend my entire life making sure theirs is ruined. One last time, which is it gonna be? Stay loyal to Golden Circle or become my dog? At last, Choi Taejan is genuinely terrified and bows his head. I'll be your dog. Yansong just pats him on the head like he's calming a pet. Smart choice. Baeyeon Ho seems a little worried. Is it really okay to just let him go like that? Yansong grins. If he breaks our deal, he'll find out what the consequences are. Check your account after school. I'll send your reward, and bring Jo Hyojin here, but make sure nobody sees you. The very next day, Jo Hyojin, nicknamed the loudspeaker, starts spreading the word that Kim Yansong and Baeyeon Ho had a massive falling out. Now, even if someone talks trash about Kim Yansong, Baeyeon Ho won't lift a finger to defend him. Everyone buys it instantly and starts second-guessing themselves, wondering if they should start icing out Kim Yansong. But in reality, this was all part of a trap Kim Yansong had carefully set. You and I both know he was just waiting for a much bigger fish to take the bait. Meanwhile, ever since Go Changbyeom became an executive director at Myeongjin Construction, his younger brother Gangseok finally couldn't take it anymore. He calls an emergency meeting with all the top execs. At this rate, their father was probably going to hand the entire company over to Gangbyeom. Director Kim Jippel sees right through it. I'm sure there's someone helping him from the shadows, someone we still haven't identified. A scandal gets leaked, and somehow only Go Bayam benefits. You and I both know something fishy is going on. Now he's suddenly working his way up from construction sites, punching the clock like a model employee. His responses to accidents on site were perfectly aligned with the chairman's own values. Could the old Go Bayam have pulled that off? No way. This is definitely not a coincidence. Someone is pulling the strings from the shadows, and that person is the key. The problem is, they still have no idea who it is. Chong Suk orders his men to use every resource they have. Find out who is pulling Go Bayam's strings. For days, his men tail his brother. But they come up with absolutely nothing. Go Chong Suk's frustration with his team is growing. Then a breakthrough. Someone spots unusual transactions in Go Bayam's account. Huge sums of money are flowing to a school for scholarships, a gym, even a swimming pool. But Chong Suk just waves it off, completely dismissing the clue. That guy always throws money around. 3 years ago, he paid off some bar girl's debt. And got an earful from Dad. It's nothing. Don't waste any more time on this. Just then Go Chong Suk's phone rings. It's an unknown number. He ignores it, but a text message comes through. I'm the one behind Go Bayam. I want to talk privately. You can bet this is where the real game starts. Turns out Go Bayam had already figured out he was being followed and warned Kim Yans. I think you might be in danger. Chong Suk is probably looking for you. Kim Yans just smirks. What, you scared Chong Suk will offer me a better deal? Go Bayam gets flustered and denies it. Yans presses him. Do you trust me? If you do, then get me someone else's phone number. Meanwhile, Chong Suk asks his man. If we find out who's pulling the strings, what's our move? His subordinate replies, 2 options. Recruit them to our side to help take down Go Bayam, or if they refuse, we eliminate them. Soon after, Go Chong Suk makes his move and contacts Kim Yans. He invites him to switch sides, making his pitch. Go Bayam only has a high school diploma. But I graduated from a top university. He just wasted his time in bars. While I was building real experience in this company, you know the truth. Dad is never going to let him inherit everything. That's why you contacted me, right? Yans replies, maybe, but I have one condition. Chong Suk agrees without even hearing it. I'm ready to agree to anything you ask. Back at the office, everyone is waiting. They crowd around, asking about the negotiation. Chong Suk says it was nothing special. He just asked for a seat on the board of directors. Director Kim immediately panics. You're giving a board seat to a total stranger. We have no idea who this guy is. We need to be careful. Chong Suk slams the table in fury. Who are you to lecture me? What did you do when my reputation was on the line, if a capable person wants to join us? A board seat is a small price to pay. You need to learn to see the bigger picture. But Director Kim insists it's not that simple. Myeongjin Construction has traditions. All of our executives have given over 20 years to this company. Chong Suk cuts him off. Enough, that old way of thinking is exactly what's holding us back. When I become chairman, this entire place is going to change. Just remember this. If I'm in charge, you won't lose out. Isn't that enough for you? Director Kim is rattled. He had thrown his entire support behind Chong Suk, but now he's feeling uneasy. He knew Chong Suk was selfish and arrogant, but still. At least he cared more about the company than Go Baeum ever did. Just then his phone rings. It's an unknown number, and trust me, things are about to get even crazier. All right, let's get right to it. I heard about Chang Suk's decision, and you're not happy. About it, are you? Honestly, a board seat was never my goal. I just wanted you to see the real difference between Chong Suk and Chang Baum. Myeongjin Construction is built on tradition. A board seat isn't just for anyone. If Chong Suk truly understood the chairman, he'd never have offered it up so casually. So I really hope you'll support Gang Baum. He's not the same reckless kid he used to be. Kim just shook his head. I can't betray the people I have already chosen, the caller replied. It's not betrayal. I just hope your decades of work aren't completely thrown away. A few days later, Kim Keel met with Go Chang Baum and asked him point-blank, "Who is helping you out from behind the scenes?" Chang Baum just smiled. "That's something I can't say." Kim didn't press him. Instead, he took a walk down memory lane. "You used to follow the chairman around the construction sites. You even helped us carry bricks. I remember you fell once, and I nearly had a heart attack, seeing you grow up. So healthy really made me happy. I always had such high hopes for you, but when you got older, you changed. Myeongjin Construction just kept getting stronger, but you just partied and caused all kinds of trouble. That's why I didn't think you were fit to be the chairman, and I chose to support Changguk instead. Just like your father, I've given everything I have to this company. I couldn't hand it over to someone who couldn't even manage his own life. But lately you have changed. Now it doesn't matter who is helping you, as long as you're delivering results. That is all that matters. Myeongjin Construction needs you. I'm counting on you. Now let's jump back to Kim Hyunung's story. Not long ago, Hyunung deliberately started a rumor that he'd had a falling out with Byun Ho. Kro Tae-jun then reported back on how all the other students reacted. By then, Kim Hyun had already whittled his list of suspects down to only 3. The first suspect was Ayu Jin-young. As the top student of the first semester, she was always at the top, so Hyunung's arrival threatened her number 1 position. The second was Lee Jin-hyung. He and Hyun had already fought at the start of the semester. Despite his quiet act, his family was rumored to own thousands of pyong of land. And the third suspect was Cho Shona, whose father was a high-ranking government official. Her grades had even surpassed Hyunsung's at one point before he took the lead again. Hyunung decided he would set a trap specifically for these 3. After a few days of watching, he narrowed his focus down to a single person. The next day, during soccer class, a girl hesitated nearby, debating whether she should confess her feelings. It was Kai Shona. His main suspect, her friend Oh Hai, tried to talk her out of it. Kim Hyun isn't the good student he used to be. If you start dating him, he might just lead you astray. But Shona replied it was everyone else who messed with him first. Then, gathering her courage, she went right up to him. Hyun smiled just a little. "I have something to say to you too. Let's go somewhere private." Class was about to start, but the two of them still hadn't come back. Oh, Hiji was starting to get nervous. Suddenly, she got a text from Cho Shona begging for help. It turns out Hyun had taken her to the equipment storage room. Shona was a little nervous at first, but she kept reassuring herself. Hyun was a good student, she thought. There's no way he would ever cross the line. But then he did something unexpected. He locked the door behind them. He then asked, "Do you know why all these things have been happening to me? The truth is, someone has been controlling things from the shadows, so I've set my own traps, and trust me, this one just snapped shut." All right, watch how our main character sets a perfect trap for 3 different suspects. He tells the first one he's exhausted and wants to transfer. If she's the one, she'll be thrilled. To the second, he lies that he fought with Bae-Ho. If he's the culprit, he'd come looking for a fight. And to you, he hinted that he was tired, but was still trying to hold on. If you're the mastermind, you'd push the golden circle to make their move even faster. Now that you know all that, how do you feel? Suddenly, Oh Hiji rushes in. She's frantic, asking what happened and if Hyun had bullied Shona, but at that moment, Hyun, who was hiding nearby, speaks up. "Shona, you can leave," baffled Oh Hiji. Watches as Shona just gets up and leaves, then Hyun shuts the door. "You stay here." Now, even though Shona was a suspect, Hyun had good reason to believe she wasn't the culprit. Turns out he'd asked Gang Biome to run a background check on all 3 of them. Shona's file revealed something critical. Her own brother had taken his life after being bullied. Her entire family moved to Dasan just to protect her, and because of all that, she despises school violence more than anyone. When she heard what happened to Hyun, she had actually encouraged him to be brave. Now pay close attention here. There's only one possible conclusion. Shona was just repeating the rumors she heard, but the real mastermind is you, Oh Hiji. She panics, breaks free, and makes a run for the door. "I don't know why you'd suspect me, it's not true, but the door is locked from the outside." No way out, so Hiji tries to reason with him. "We've always been so close. I have no reason to hurt you. I'm sure it was all Shona's idea. She was just upset when your grades got better. Plus, her dad's a high-ranking official in the Golden Circle. Has connections with people like that, but Hyun wasn't buying any of it. He had never mentioned the Golden Circle in front of her. Her cover completely blown, Hiji drops the act. "You brought this on yourself," she spits. "If you weren't always so cold to me, this never would have happened." "Okay, I know what you're thinking. How did we even get here?" It all started a few months back. From the first time she met Kim Hyun, she was smitten. He was handsome, top of his class, and an amazing athlete. The guy was basically flawless. Of course, tons of girls liked him, but Kim Hyun turned down every single one of them. Afraid of getting rejected too, Oh Hiji decided to test the waters before confessing. And every time Hyun patiently helped her with a difficult problem, she felt like she had a shot. She even had her friends ask him about his ideal type. Kim Hyun told them, "I like girls like Hiji. Cheerful girls are the most attractive." Hearing that gave her all the confidence she needed, with a carefully chosen gift and a heartfelt letter. She finally worked up the courage to confess to him in person. But he rejected her all the same, for someone who grew up in a wealthy family. This was the first time in her entire life she had ever experienced defeat. And her resentment towards Hyun just grew deeper. "Did you hire the Golden Circle to get me?" Hyun demanded angrily. "Didn't you say I was your type?" she shot back. "Why lead me on if you never liked me? I never thought it would go this far. I just wanted you to feel what true despair was like, I swear. I will never do anything like this ever again. Please just let me go." But Kim Hyun just replied calmly, "I didn't reject you because I disliked you. I just don't have time for a relationship. Those snacks and gadgets you buy without a second thought. I can't afford any of that. Even if I did happen to like you, I'd still have to say no." For a brief moment, Oh Hiji thought she saw a flicker of hope. "Then why didn't you just tell me?" "All right, let's jump right into this," she's begging. "If you'd just been honest, I wouldn't be like this. Can't we go back?" But Kim Hun just grabs her by the hair, his voice dropping to absolute zero. "It's too late for that. I'm going to destroy your life, piece by agonizing piece. And you'll never understand why I'm being this cruel. Do you have any idea why I survived instead of becoming a vegetable? Why my family didn't collapse? Why I endured 10 years of pure hell. It's because I never once stopped fighting. People like you are the ones who shoved me into the abyss and then sat back to enjoy the show. You better start researching the best plastic surgeon in town. Just then, the homeroom teacher bursts in, completely shocked by the scene. You're hitting girls now. Hun replies without even flinching. She's the one who hired the golden circle. The teacher's entire demeanor flips in a second. If she really is the client, then maybe you went a bit too far, but she still has to pay for what she did. I'll handle the consequences, but Hyen cuts him off. No need, just send her home. When Oh Hee-hai's father, Oh Chunam, sees his daughter's beaten-up face, he's absolutely furious. I will make you pay for this. Kim Hyen and Chang Baum, I'll see you both in jail. But before he does anything, Oh Chunam decides to confront the Golden Circle's middleman. Now pay attention here. This is where the real mind games begin. Every client will hear about this, but the middleman, Yung Shan-su, is totally unfazed. Do whatever you want, our business is over. As you said, the Golden Circle has never failed. If I broke the rules, what do you possibly think would happen to me? So I've already handed all the evidence of our deal over to Kim Hyen. It's my insurance policy for staying alive. Oh Chun Sam screams back, then we all go down together. I'll report you and expose Golden Circle for everything that they are. No one will get out of this clean, but Yung Shan-su says nothing more and just hangs up. See, Yung Shan-su only did this because Kim Hun had already got to him before Oh Chun even could. You're the Golden Circle's local guy, right? I've already sent Oh Hai home safely, and Yung Shan-su was stunned. Not only did Hun know the client's name, he even had his personal phone number. He realized in that instant that Cho Tai-jun had sold him out. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, it gets even more complicated from here. Kim Hun continued, you exposed a client. Now you're a liability to Golden Circle. Their only move is to silence you and Oh Chun Sam permanently. As he spoke, two men with knives appeared silently right behind Yung Shan-su. Kim Hun's tone completely shifted. Do you want to live? Then you will do exactly as I say. Report to your higher-ups that the assignment was a complete success. Tell them that I've been taken care of. The client is satisfied, and that Cho Tai-jun was the one who completed the job. Meanwhile, right after hanging up, Aung Sam's doorbell rings. To his horror, Kim Hyen himself just walks right in. Hyen sits on the sofa and orders him coldly, sit down, listen up, I'll give you two options. If you want revenge, go ahead, call the police. But the second you do, I'll release all the evidence that Yung Shan-su just gave to me. The Golden Circle won't go down. But you and Shan-su will be completely finished. You'll go to jail, and your daughter, Hai, will be implicated right along with you. There are no good outcomes for you. You'll get at least 3 years, and she'll get a few months, tops. And what do you think will happen to her while you're gone? You think I'm just going to let her off? Oh Chun absolutely roared. You're threatening us. Do you really think you can get away with this? Hun just replied with a smirk, you can't touch me. I have Gang Bayam behind me, and you and I both know this is far from over. And Hiji just stares, her eyes wide with shock. Oh Chun trembles, barely able to stay on his feet. Hyen slowly reaches behind his back, pulls out a knife, and just tosses it on the floor. Here's another option, he says. Do it yourself. Make sure this demon can never hurt anyone again. And with that, he leaves without a single look back, and you and I are left with this absolutely chilling scene. You're insane, his wife screams. I'm calling the police. He's gone, call the police. But Oh Chun just kneels, staring at the knife, completely haunted by Hyen's words. If this gets out, he goes to jail, his Yongjin Construction and Go Chungbei. They wouldn't stand a chance, and if their lives and legacy are destroyed, who's to blame? Without me, can you protect Hiji? I told you not to spoil her so much. Seeing the look in her father's eyes, Hiji runs away in absolute terror. For the very first time, she sees the madness inside him. To protect his status, his power, Oh Chun was finally willing to sacrifice his own daughter, no matter how much she begged. It was useless. Back with Hyen, Yung Shan-su asks, even if he chooses the second option, You're not just gonna let this go, are you? Kim Hyun answers calmly. I have evidence of all his crimes. If he fights back, I'll report him for domestic abuse. When that happens, their family loses everything. She'll be left disabled, all alone. Young Shansu is stunned by his sheer ruthlessness, but he has a point. Golden Circle will find out the truth sooner or later, he says. Kim Hyun replies. That's why I want to make a deal. I'll be your Trojan horse. Now pay attention. This is the master plan. I will infiltrate your organization as a mole. You joined Golden Circle for money, right? Work with me and you'll make a hell of a lot more. Young Shansu just laughs. You think my Yongjin construction alone is enough to back you up. I admit it. I joined Golden Circle to climb the ladder, and they have the power to make that happen. I'm betting my life on you because I'm scared of them too, but you want me. To trust you and my company to take on this kind of insane risk, forget it. Then Kim Hyun says two simple words, top tiers, and trust me, this changes the entire game. What if for the next 2 years, I only have you handle the top tier members? The top tiers were Golden Circle's most elite clients, the absolute cream of Korea's chaebol families. Golden Circle had special middlemen just for them, and the money was beyond astronomical. Most importantly, the middlemen for the top tiers were considered top-tier members themselves. Young Shansu is floored. He had no idea Hyun knew this much about their inner workings. How could you possibly get me a position as a top-tier only middleman? Hyun replies coolly. You just need to keep your mouth shut for the next month. That's it. After that, you'll get exactly what you want. He knew all this because in just a few years, everyone would know about the storm that was coming. Society would call it the Golden Gate Scandal, but the list of top-tier members would never, ever be revealed. The whole thing would just quietly disappear. See, just taking down Golden Circle wasn't enough. The massive wealth and power propping them up would never crumble that easily. Now he was ready to kick off the next phase of his grand plan. To completely and utterly destroy Golden Circle, Kim Hyun decided to recruit a congressman. Kim Pan-ho of the Prosperity Party, a former professor who leveraged all his connections to claw his way into the National Assembly. And how did he get those connections? By opening doors for the spoiled children of the country's elite. But then, a twist. Congressman Jang Ho-il from the rival party suddenly exposes a massive corruption scandal. And it involves Kim Pan-ho, and just like that, the perfect opportunity falls right into our hero's lap. Let's jump right in. At this moment, Kim Pan-ho urgently needed some outside help. Kim Hyun told him, Congressman Jen doesn't have a personal grudge against you. Attacking you brings him almost no political benefit. I suspect he's just a puppet. And the one pulling the strings is your own party's rising star, Assemblyman Yang Minu. You've expanded your power way too quickly, and he wants you out of the way. But since you're in the same party, moving against you directly is far too risky. So he let Jang Ho-il make the first move. As an opposition member, Jang's accusations are much more convincing to the public. Kim Pan-ho shot back, even if that's true, what's your solution? Kim Hyun replied, now pay attention. Very soon, a drug scandal is going to break. It involves international students, and one of these students will be exposed by name. As it happens, Jang Ho-il's own son is currently studying abroad. If you play your cards right, you can turn this whole situation around. I've also prepared a few additional plans that will benefit you. If you're willing to trust me, just give me a call. I'll wait for 1 week. A few days later, the drug scandal broke, exactly as he predicted. Kim Pan-ho eyed him with suspicion. You're only a student. How could you know these things? Hyun simply smiled and said, thanks to Go Chang Bom, his circle of friends hears everything. Kim Pan-ho praised him. You've got guts and a sharp mind. So what else have you prepared for me? Hyun answered, before I share anything more. Tell me, are you actually planning on running for president? Because frankly, your odds are slim. You don't have a story that can move people. You come from an elite family. Everything has gone your way. Professor, lawmaker, you're part of the top 0.01% in Korea. The voters just can't relate to you. Hearing this, Kim Panho's face darkened with anger. Are you telling me to give up everything I have right now? Kim Hyun replied calmly.